Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. It's so good to have you here with us. We always sit here waiting for you to join us. And so glad that you did. Whether you're watching live or maybe you're going to be watching this later on in the archives, we do save and archive all of the episodes of our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. And there are hundreds and hundreds of them that you can binge watch right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Great day today, busy day for me on the radio. We're prepping for a big television project headed to Dallas, Texas next week, a multi-day TV shoot in my professional work in television. And we were recording some other things and writing scripts and storyboarding and all kinds of cool stuff. And we had radio shows today, just loving what I do, communicating and inspiring and doing the work I've done for many years on television and radio, hosting, writing, producing, narrating, voiceovers, news programming. I think I've really done it all. I hosted game shows, shopping shows, television news programs, news reporter. I've done weather. I've done sports, news anchoring. Let's see, what else have I done? A lot of voiceover work, narrations. I've hosted corporate videos and infomercials. And I've ridden on elephants. I've ridden on horses for TV stations. I've emceed at Carnegie Hall. I've gone around the world for the television and radio work. And I was just thinking about it the other day, all the things. And I think I've interviewed, it's well over 6,500 people in my professional world. And then if you add in what we're doing here, well, we don't call these interviews. We call these conversations here at the Jim Masters Show live. And it's just continues to be extraordinary. And when I decided to create this series back in late April 2020, I wanted to bring everybody together and I wanted to have some fun and learn and inspire and do this like a television series, old school talk show with a modern vibe. So that's what we're doing. And for those of you who have been with us from the beginning, thanks so very much. We just got to take a moment to thank everybody. And those of you who are joining for the first time, as it says on the screen there, first time watching, welcome. What we do here is unique. It's different. It's fun. And it has a lot of our JMS levity, as we call it, too. Hey, we've got an amazing guest who's joining us from the Coachella Valley in California. That's right. And she's really cool. We were just doing a sound check moments ago, making sure that everything sounds good because she's going to play live for us. Yes. Shelley Rae Speck is here, award-winning singer and songwriter, coming to us originally. She was born and raised in Missouri. I know some of you on the East Coast where we are. We're here in the New York area along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. Probably say Missouri, but she says it's Missouri. And I actually have East Coast relatives who have moved to Missouri and they love it. But she's in California in the Coachella Valley. Beautiful place to be as well. And we have relatives there as well. And she's going to sing. She's going to perform, she's going to entertain, and we're going to have a good conversation and poignant moments. Feel free to comment during the show. Gang, you are free to do that if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. That is something exclusive for the subscribers of our YouTube channel, which costs nothing to do. You just hit the red subscribe button, click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes. You get the alerts. If you want to chat in the JMS Levity chat room, it is open and available when our show is live. If you want to support what we're doing, super chat, super emoji, super stickers, and super thanks. Super chat, super emoji, super stickers, I should explain it a little bit, is something you can do in chat, which helps support. You see little emoji icons and different things that's in the chat room. And we would flash that on the screen. I personally thank you on the air as well. And your comment is shown on the air. That's something that we became eligible for about a year or so ago here on our YouTube channel, which is cool. And then there's super thanks, a little heart icon that is on the YouTube channel and all the episodes. And you can support our series and all the content, everything we bring to you and have brought to you all these months and months and months and months and hundreds of episodes. And that super thanks is a little heart icon that's on the YouTube channel as well. So if you want to chat and maybe we'll sprinkle a comment or two in here, feel free to do that. And just thanks for joining us. I just want to take a moment really to thank you for being here. We're always getting new viewers who are watching what we're doing here and celebrating what we're doing. Some watch anonymously and quietly, and some dive right in and they comment and they celebrate, and we appreciate that. So who is joining us tonight? Well, if you receive the notification because you have the notification bell clicked and you are a subscriber to our YouTube channel, you're part of our lovely family, then you know that an incomparable award-winning singer and songwriter is joining us. As I mentioned, Shelley Rae Speck. She is extraordinary. And you know what's really exciting is she has a brand new album out. Yes, The Bottle's on My Side. And we're really excited for her. She's super excited about this particular album. Now, if you're not familiar with her work, you actually probably are. And you're like, well, I don't understand. Well, she has been involved with a lot of incredible material. Not only what you're seeing on the screen, which is the new album to definitely check out, but Shelley is responsible for a lot of music that we've heard over the years. Award-winning singer-songwriter Shelley Rae Speck and Dream Loud Records recently released that first single from her upcoming untitled debut EP. This is The Bottle's on My Side, as I mentioned, and we just showed you seconds ago. We'll put that on the screen again so that you can really take a look at that. But in addition to all of that, gang, that particular single debuted in the top 10 on Amazon's Music Hot New Releases sales chart while receiving increased airplay on Americana, folk, country, and adult contemporary stations, as well as ads to top Spotify playlists. Shelley is no stranger to the music industry at all. She's been doing this for a long time. She loves what she does. And again, this really is second nature to her. And she likes music that touches the soul. And she's been doing it. Well, she's been in the industry, the music industry, after making her professional stage debut at the legendary Troubadour on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles when she was just 13 years old. And since then, she has worked with everyone you can think of. Names that you guys know as well. Meredith Brooks, as well as Katey Segal. That's right. She has worked with Katey Segal. She has also worked with some other names that you guys know. She's worked with Meredith Brooks, to Katey Segal, and her band Specks opened for these familiar names. Of course, you guys remember Mr. Mister. Yep. Well, guess what? She opened for Mr. Mister. She also opened for another dear friend of our show who's been on our show twice, the incomparable Melissa Manchester. She opened for Melissa Manchester as well. And also for another cool group, the Sparks. Yes, she opened for them as well. She's also penned songs heard in countless television shows, which I love, Mr. TV here. Shows like Beverly Hills 90210. She's penned music that has been aired on that iconic series. Also, another one. You want more? You got it. Another one, of course. Look at this one. Rookie of the Year. Yep. Her music's in that. Her music is also Josie and the Pussycats. It's in that as well. I mean, that's just the short list, folks. So she's been doing it a long time. Her music's been heard in a lot of different venues. She's worked with a lot of cool people. And again, she's all excited because her album, or the EP it is, the album is coming, but this is the EP. The Bottle's on My Side has really been talked about highly, and it's revered and acclaimed already. As a highly sought after vocal coach as well, Shelley's clients as a vocal coach include Ashley Tisdale and Ricky Luna from the new Mickey Mouse Club, and the Pussycat Dolls, Kaya Jones, and many others. As I mentioned, she lives in Coachella Valley in California, which serves as a backdrop for her songwriting, influenced by Dolly Parton, Joni Mitchell, The Pretenders, and Emmy Lou Harris, just to name a few. Cool names, huh? So it's time to welcome her to the show. We got music coming your way. We got a lot of fun coming your way, and we're really excited to have her here. So let's welcome her. She's got the guitar next to her. We'll chat with her first, and then she'll play some music here on the Jim Masters Show, coming to us live from Coachella Valley in California. If you're not sure where that is, she'll tell us. And here she is. Welcome, Shelley Rae Speck, to our show.
Hi, I am so thrilled to be on your show.
I appreciate that.
It is, it's just a blessing, and I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to talking more with you.
Well, you said something really beautiful that touched me, and I want to share it with our audience. You are obviously not only a fabulous special guest on our show, but you're also now a Loveity viewer as well. You're going to be designated within seconds as a Loveity already on our show, but you've been a Loveity viewer because you've been sampling and watching some of our previous episodes. And there was the episode we did with the iconic Fifth Dimension music legend Florence LaRue that you were just a couple weeks ago. She was a guest on the show. And you were gracious enough to open up and share with me before we went live that when you watched it, you were very touched by that conversation. And again, I call them conversations, not interviews. And thanks for sharing that with me. And you mentioned that it really touched your soul on deep levels.
It really did. It was a conversation. It was a conversation. And she was saying that she had performed for like 4, maybe even 5 presidents. Now, the Fifth Dimension were I still have their original CD. I had the album at first, but I remember and I still play it loud.
Yeah.
It's great driving music. So she had said that she had played for all these presidents.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, wow, what a span, what a career span. And the great music that they put out. And you said, which I loved, you said, so what was your favorite president? And I thought she was going to say, oh, I liked them all, but she just blurted out Obama. And I got teary. I teared up because I knew what it meant to her.
Yes.
The way she said it was so authentic. It meant something to her really, really in the bottom of her soul,
Yes.
Top to bottom soul,
What a gracious and beautiful soul inside and out Florence LaRue is, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, really. It was, I know I was moved and touched chatting with her. When you continue perusing the hundreds of episodes of the Jim Masters Show, check out the one that debuted Sunday with Loretta Swit.
I saw that, and I didn't get a chance to do it this week yet.
Oh,
but
you'll love that one. We
I
just
love
met.
her.
She was in her, home in New York City, and it was just real and authentic and funny. And she was fantastic as well. So
she's just a great actor. She's just phenomenal.
Yes.
And one of those who makes, I know it sounds cliche, but she makes it look easy.
Comedy,
edgy comedy,
MASH, and all of And she also has Sweetheart, which is an animal alliance. For years, she's been an activist for animal welfare, and she's got a beautiful website, and she does all of these incredible art. Watercolors that when you donate, she's got a perfume line. When you donate, you get that on our website. Just really, really, really special. She's been giving back for years.
Wow.
And and you do too. I mean, you've been in the music industry. People are like, my God, the Troubadour, age 13. That's no small task. I mean, what early on for you, Shelley Rae, what sparked the interest? What sparked the Speck interest? Was there music in the house in Missouri? Were you listening?
Yeah.
Was it always on? And were you turned on to it early? Tell us about that.
I was. My grandmother sang in a church choir, and she was quite good. She had a beautiful, soprano, just absolutely wonderful. And she would sing church songs. My mother would take us to different denominations of churches. My favorite was to go to gospel and some of the evangelical things that she took us to too, because they were so colorful.
Yeah.
I mean, people were speaking in tongues, they're rolling around, and nothing wrong with that. I mean,
high energy, passion.
It was pretty authentic.
Yes.
You just it was spur of the moment. They felt the spirit, and but gospel was my favorite. It really was. Just it moved me, and it stayed with me.
Yeah.
And also, coming from that region, country music is a real big part of what that is. Now it's much more. It's broad globally. But what I really liked growing up was those influences, the gospel influence. And when I was about 11 or 12 and began to sing for the first time and write material, I remember thinking, I had this la, 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 sweet little soprano. I'm like, no, this is wrong. I was sure that what should have come out of my mouth was somebody like, oh my gosh, Aretha Franklin. I was expecting to have this big Mahalia Jackson. I don't know if you know who she is, but
Oh, of course.
she's
Yeah.
the goddess. And I was very disappointed. I was like, no, this is wrong. I should sound like that. That's who I love. But I didn't. And it was okay. I began writing songs. I was encouraged by a teacher, Mr. Doty, in the 7th grade, who heard me singing just kind of a cappella. And I told him I play guitar. And he entered me into the 7th grade talent contest. And I won. And
You did.
I did.
That's big. When you're in 7th grade and you win a talent contest, that is big.
Cool.
That's like a mini version of, American Idol or something.
Yeah.
Especially in the school, right?
Yeah, it was a big deal because,
Mhm.
and I'll never forget the song was "As Tears Go By" the Stones.
What a song to have
Yeah.
picked. Wow.
Yeah, and I played well,
Yeah.
and accompanied myself. And I think the second song was some 60s song too. Like, it was "Sha la 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 la, live for today."
Oh, what a great song.
Sha la. And so I played those two, and then from there, I wrote more. And then when I sort of debuted at the Troubadour, I did 2 original songs. One which was called "We Can Do Better," about Robert Kennedy, because he was campaigning, and that was kind of, it wasn't a full-on slogan, but it stuck with young people, and I was really young, and I thought, man, we can, it was really, there was some hope. And then the other song I sang, which was typical teenage angst, was "A Million Miles from Peace."
Yeah,
But
sure.
teenage angst is a real thing, and it's even I know it sounds cliche, but it's more like, wow, there's so much going on at that age, and your hormones are just raging.
Yeah.
And you have no skills yet to process them or talk about them. You can get defensive, you can get introspective. I did all those things. But the music, as I said, I was writing, and
Yeah.
it really was amazing. My mother booked me on like USO shows and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. The
Yeah.
USO shows, really?
Yes.
Wow.
It wasn't really appropriate because I was doing like little folky songs, but it went over nicely, and
Did you ever get a chance to meet any of the folks in that area, in folk or, over the years? Were you ever graced with working
I
with and
have.
meeting? Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first, I entered a songwriting contest. It was the Santa Monica Music Festival, and it was sponsored by Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Amazing you said that, because that's what I was leading to. Yes,
Wow,
yes.
so
Isn't
he
he a bundle of energy? He is unbelievable. We had him in the studio at PBS. I interviewed
did.
Peter, Paul, and I had the opportunity to interview Mary.
Wow.
All fabulous people. Mary had a wicked sense of humor.
Did she?
Peter was like the Energizer bunny, just so passionate.
Right.
And you got a chance to
Oh, it was amazing. I ended up getting second in this series, but we became close, and he invited me out to his Broad Beach home, and he could not have been more of a perfect man. Perfect.
Yeah.
He was passionate about politics, passionate about fairness,
Life and
passionate about
hated
life.
injustice and
Yeah. But
very much.
also new music. He was really into what was happening now. That's why he started
Yeah,
the festival. He wanted
that's
to
right.
hear what us youngins were doing,
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, he was going to do one of my songs called Anniversary. He was going to put it on the next record. And then I kind of, oh no, I just kind of panicked and didn't see him for a while. But it was, I mean, he taught me how to tune my guitar. He taught me like how to pop the strings. I got to show you.
Yeah, let's see. I know
Okay.
how to pop a wheelie on my bike from when I was a kid. While we were popping the wheelies, you were popping the strings, huh?
Was. So he showed me how to do this. When your strings are old, you go like this. And it actually, what it does, the strings are little, they're wound of little, like these are bronze wound. So what that does is it makes the dirt fly out and it gives them new life. Like if they sound old, you just go, and it brightens them up. Isn't that cool? So he taught me that. I thought
What
that was
you
really
just
cool.
did sounded like an episode of Seinfeld. Boing, boing, the sounds that they used to use.
Yeah. Boy, was he great. I forgot the name of the composer for that show.
Yeah,
I always wanted to meet him.
it just
Wow.
the way you would come out, and it's
Yeah.
funny how underscoring can really replace. I've had conversations with people underscoring. Lloyd Schwartz was on our show. Lloyd Schwartz, his father Sherwood, was responsible for the Brady Bunch
Right.
and all
Sure.
these iconic shows. And I mentioned to Lloyd how the music underneath the TV shows, when they would transition from scene to scene, or when it was a certain mood that they wanted to enhance, there was a verbal mood or an expression, words were being said, and expressions were happening on the face, but then the music would come in and just stamp that mood. Underscoring, to me, I absolutely love underscoring, and I listen intently for underscoring in really all types of shows and movies and the soundtracks, commercials. I'm listening to the underscoring because it can really put the stamp on or enhance the feeling that's trying to be conveyed or achieved, right?
Right. It's a way of, like I think of some of the early television shows, like the Andy Griffith Show. That iconic melody of whistling, with Ron Howard walking down and then also the Beverly Hillbillies. I thought, even as a young person watching it, each person had a different theme of an underscore. Like when they showed the blonde on Beverly Hillbillies, they would go, little harp music.
Yes.
And it was just so corny. I loved it.
Was fantastic.
And it branded that character.
Yes, exactly. I love that you got that. They did that with a lot of the other shows too, like I Dream of Jeannie. Whenever Dr. Bellows came in and something would go wrong where he couldn't figure out Major Nelson's antics. Da na 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 ba ba. Da na 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 ba ba. Whatever that song was, that underscoring was on, that was a scene with Dr. Bellows.
Right.
And it's amazing how when you hear that even now, it's Hayden Rourke as Dr. Alfred Bellows. Just that, to me, that's genius. When people are able to, that's genius. And they used to do that. We've had a lot of these conversations with some folks who've come through who are singers of all kinds, and they did a lot of jingle singing. While they were doing session singers for groups and bands and everything, they would make good money going in and singing, themes to TV shows or promotional campaigns or commercials and things of that nature.
Sure.
And really fantastic when you hear some of that stuff now. I miss all that stuff. I wish jingles and all that would come back, because I really think that just created a certain feeling in society. And when they would hear the full length theme songs to the TV shows too, like when you would hear The Dick Van Dyke Show. Da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. When you heard that, you knew. Da, 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 wham, bum. You know, right? When you would hear that, you knew what to expect. It was comfortable. All right, let's get ready. Now they have an option on one of the networks. I forget which one it is, for people to actually, if they want to skip the intro to the TV show and just get right into the TV show, they don't want to watch the intro to All in the Family or any of these shows. You can actually hit a button
Wow.
that says skip
I didn't
intro.
know
And
that.
I'm like,
Huh,
I want to see the intro, even though I've seen it 1,000 times.
I
That
bet.
intro is what gets me into it, and it's familiar. And then there's Maud. Right
But
on, Maud.
you're right. You're totally on it. It sets the tone.
Yes.
Come sit right down and I'll tell a tale. Da, 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 da. Gilligan, the skipper, too. So they always played that little diddle when this.
Gilligan.
You're scaring me. You are in my head.
Gilligan.
Whoa.
There he is, Bob Denver. It's perfect segue. You're intuitive. Dreama Denver, his wife, is a big fan of our show. She's a definite levity. She was on our show twice because she's written all kinds of wonderful books, and we celebrated Bob. And she's actually got Aloha Jim, Dreama Denver. And she said, you know, we have a lot of the I Dream a Genie bottles right there. See it?
No, I
Right
can't
there.
see it. Can you do one
See the
screen with
blue
you? And
light
I bet I
there?
can.
See that blue? Oh, yeah, I'll do a
Oh,
white
yeah,
screen.
I see. She has capris or something on.
That's the
Is that
actual
it?
bottle. Yeah, we'll make it bigger.
Oh,
That's the I Dream a Genie bottle.
you know,
So
you don't get that anymore too much. You know, the like
no.
you know, I don't know if you watched the South Korean Squid Games.
Yeah, that's really
That
popular,
was
huh?
yeah, it's really it was just really fresh. Came
Yeah.
out of nowhere. The music was perfect. What
Mhm.
sometimes I think what I don't care for is when the music is too literal, because I've done music for film,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
really have
Right.
to, you don't
Right.
play it like a cartoon like we
No, no,
used
no,
to.
no.
You
Right.
have to do the segues, shall we
Yes.
say. You have to ease into it. You know, you got to
Yes.
do a crash cymbal on the chorus, you know.
Right.
It's just not like that for
Right.
movies. You really have to, in my view, support the narrative.
Right.
And if that isn't done, or the music isn't appropriate, I probably won't watch the film, because
Exactly.
it's just, or if it takes away or tells me how to feel instead of let the actor speak or the narrative speak.
And
It's
then
like,
it comes
oh,
underneath and it
yeah,
enhances it. Right.
bombast, feel sad, feel happy.
Right. Right.
That's I mean, that's not somebody who I admire as a composer.
No, it's very right. And well, a lot of some of the TV shows too are very just in your face and forcing the laughs. The laughs aren't subtle. The laughs aren't you know, double entendre. There's none of that. It's just direct and I can even hear it in my head now, and it's always touched me. The music for On Golden Pond, the theme to On Golden Pond,
Oh, wow.
is just one of the most
It's amazing.
beautiful.
Who was that composer? Do you remember?
Is it Dave Grusin? Was it?
It could be. It could be.
Just when you hear it, it really totally hits upon end of life and going to the lake with the golden
I'll have to
sunset.
revisit that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, that's one of those. That's a good one. How about for you? What are some of your favorites? I mean, you've written a lot of music that's been on television and elsewhere, and you
And
know,
film. I did a
film.
little
Yeah.
what's called a source cue for well, it's not exactly a source cue, but I know you know what that is. But I did a little piece for the Viola Davis movie Won't Back Down, and it was just a little rap thing I threw together, which is always fun. When I was a staff songwriter, I learned to support the narrative for film and TV. Or my manager would say, oh, we need something for Celine Dion now. We need something for, Gloria Estefan. It has to be this, this, and this, and message oriented. Okay, we'd write it. I had a writing partner at the time, Angie Rubin, and we had fun just writing songs. And it was different it was a craft and a skill that I learned.
Right.
I wasn't supporting. What's different now for me, since I've been in the desert, I'm supporting my own truth, my own narrative. It's very, very different. And I could tomorrow, write for film easily.
Right.
I have everything here. I can write it.
Yeah.
And that would be fine too, but it's different.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is telling my side of the story.
Your side of the story. Right.
Yeah. And it's very, very different. And it's all good, and it's all an incredible blessing to do. When I write a song, it's wonderful. And when I sing it, there's just something about singing that's magic. I always feel better when I sing.
Yeah.
This particular song, I'm looking to get to another artist. So I'm really shopping it. If only Linda Ronstadt could sing again, she'd be perfect. She would just tear this song up. She would just.
You ever hear, it's on YouTube and there's no video. It's just a still picture of her. Somebody obviously took a beautiful, soft, still picture of her. And underneath they put the song, the Beatles song, Good Night, Sleep Tight. You know that one?
Yeah.
Now's the time to say good night. Her voice, it's the greatest version I've ever heard of that song.
I've never heard that. I'm going to write that down.
It's on YouTube. Linda Ronstadt, Good Night, the Beatles song.
Sure.
Good night, sleep tight. Wow. It's just really, dream a dream of me. And her voice is so pristine, clear, warm, enveloping. And I've always enjoyed that song. The very first time I heard that song, believe it or not, was not from the Beatles. It was, and you'll laugh, but again, Mr. TV, there was a television station, some relatives in the Philadelphia area. We're here on the East Coast. We were visiting relatives in the Philadelphia area, and we were watching Channel 29, WTAF TV. And we were up late, and all of a sudden, the TV station, when they used to sign off at night, was signing off, and they showed this slowly darkening skyline of Philadelphia with the sun setting. And they played that song as part of the sign off. Good night, sleep tight, for the viewers watching Channel 29 in Philadelphia. That's the first time I heard it. I said, what an incredible song to use to end the broadcast day.
Huh. Yeah.
And then I researched and I realized that it was a Beatles song, then wanted to hear all these different versions. And I came across the Linda Ronstadt version. Sold. Yeah. When you do listen to it tonight, you
probably
shoot me an email.
Shoot
me an email or what have you and say, wow, let me know what you think.
I will. Is she doing it a cappella or does she have a band?
It's a cappella. There's a little bit of music underneath. It's very, very subtle. Very, very subtle. Wish we could play it here, but with the copyright.
Don't do that.
No, boom. We'd disappear in a second. But it's beautiful. I encourage anybody to check it out. And that's just
anyway. I'm so grateful that you told me about it because I thought I'd heard everything she's ever done.
That's a really beautiful version of that.
Oh, I can't wait.
She just nails it. And it reminds you of the voice and the gift of the voice all these years, that she presented. So this song here, congratulations on it.
Thank you.
It would be a dream to have somebody like a Linda Ronstadt sing that song.
I would just be, I didn't think of her when I wrote it. I was too busy thinking about me and my emotions. But since then, I've had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, this would be so good for so-and-so. This would be so good. And, the marvelous and amazing Greg Wells Grammy-winning producer, heard the song. We were old friends, and he saw me play it live, and I looked him up and said, I'm looking for a multi-instrumentalist, which he is. He can play any and every instrument.
Yes.
And I said to produce it, and he said, I have to do it. And
Yeah.
I said, really?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I love this song. And, I sent it off to him, and it's what he did when I first heard it and he sent me the final version. I wept, because when someone can make I always start writing a song with an image, and that song I wrote about being in a party, and I got the image first, and then I had to fill in the details lyrically to make that image, to get that image across so that other people could share that image by listening to the lyrics. And when he sent me that, it took the song to a whole nother level. It captured every bittersweet part of it. And he's just a dear, dear friend. And also just a shout out to Val McCallum, who played some lead guitar, lead electric. And then the rest of the instruments were kind of chopped up. I did all the background vocals and the vocal. Obviously, played acoustic guitar. I played the harmonica, which is a fun instrument to play.
Yeah. Huh?
And I did some acoustic lead stuff. But those two, I really wanted to be clear to talk about how a songwriter or anybody gets an idea in their head. Let's just talk about Cyber Sick. That is an image for me.
Yeah.
It really is. We were talking earlier, folks,
Yeah.
and I was saying everything's just cyber sick because it's
Yeah.
just so, I
That's
see
going to be
the
a song
image.
on a new album.
It
It's Cyber
has to
Sick.
be.
That's going to be a bestseller.
Thanks. Thanks. Well, you gave me you were
Inspiration.
my muse. You were my muse. Yeah. I'm a devotee. I'm a lovatee. I'm a lovateer for your show. Truly.
Yes,
So,
you are. You're part of the
yeah.
family. What was the very first instrument you learned to master? Was it guitar? Or, it's amazing. You'll talk to people who are doing guitar and other things, piano, and then they'll say something like, no, actually, the very first thing that I learned was the violin or the organ or the flute in
Mhm.
school or something.
Mhm.
Was
Mhm.
the guitar the first one for you?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And my brother was in a band, my older brother, and he had a guitar, and I had been he's 4 years older than I am, and I'd be like, show me a chord. It's pathetic. Show me a chord. And finally he did. He showed me C, G, and F, I think. And from there, I just learned on my own. I got books, and I was, 13. And I could not put it down. I remember I played until my fingers bled, and my mother would say, you
Jeez.
have to stop. And I'd say, okay. And I'd go in the bathroom and just, and to this day,
Yeah.
it gives me such joy
Yeah.
to play, to feel that instrument. And I have a beautiful, beautiful vintage guitar that I play and write on. Lots of instruments.
It's almost like a spiritual experience, isn't it?
It's interesting. I have a bunch of guitars, and there's an old saying, how many guitars does a guitar player need? Just one more.
Yeah.
Just one more. And I can't stop.
You know what I'm noticing? The screen, if you see you, it's like your body's getting bigger, smaller, your arm disappears, and now you have
Woo! I'm going to put down one of these shades.
I think it's the shade.
Yeah.
Because you have like this angelic glow that's going to eventually,
yeah.
it started here and it's going to come up over your face, and then it's going to end as a halo on your head. Do you see it?
I do.
And when you move, like your right arm completely disappeared and then it came back. Folks, not only is she a brilliant musician, singer, songwriter, she also does magic. She's showing us the magic tricks right now. She can make her arms disappear. Look, her right arm disappeared. See? There it is. Now it's back. Look, it's gone. Now half her body's gone. Look. You see the screen? Look,
Oh my God.
half your body disappeared.
Whoa. You know what's happening? I have a view of in my home in Coachella.
I think it's the
And
lighting is
it's the
playing
lighting.
with your screen.
The sun is going down. And so as it goes down, it creates, I'm going to just change that real quick because it's pretty weird. Hold on.
She didn't just naturally get up from the chair and just go away. She just went poof. I really think she might be related to Barbara Eden.
Well,
the way you disappeared, it wasn't just like a natural exit. You just like broke apart and dissolved into pieces and went.
Wow.
That is funny, huh?
Wow. That's like cyber
That's
weird.
very I Dream of Jeannie. Very I Dream of Jeannie. Oh,
wait, that's is that I Dream of Jeannie or is
that's
that
Jeannie? Yeah. That is Jeannie.
Yeah. What and those songs, I mean,
Hugo Montenegro. That's his song.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that now.
And my favorite version, if you ever listen to it, and there's people who actually have uploaded on YouTube just the closing theme over the years to I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
Listen to the first year. Listen to the last year, season 5, and how rhythmic and percussive and faster paced the season 5 version of the I Dream of Jeannie theme song is. That's my favorite version. Dun, 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 and the drums and everything. It's unbelievable.
Oh, cool.
And these were all top musicians doing, these songs, and Hugo Montenegro's version. But this is cool. I mean, the Invisible Woman. They're calling you the Invisible Woman. When you play this back, you'll laugh because you got up and then like your body left before your head.
It's doing it again.
She's a magician. Wow. Is she here or is this the ghost of Shelley? Is this Shelley Winters? The ghost of Shelley Winters. Look, her right arm disappeared.
Wow. Wow. Should be interesting when I sing. What's going to happen comes out of my mouth. Bubbles.
Cool. As long as the head's there and the voice, right? And that hair, the beautiful hair, because I know the headphones are like, pressing the hair.
Yeah. It's funny that this is
happening. Half the person you were when we started.
The desert light, there are real mirages out here. You can be driving and it looks like either water or a mirror, and it's no joke. And especially when the sun sets, and I can see it from here on the palm trees and everything. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's magic.
It's got to be beautiful, huh?
It is beautiful. It's rather warm, like 113 today.
Yes.
But it's as I tell people, 3 months out of the year, anywhere you live has its challenges.
Yes.
And this is challenging. I've lived in the snow. I can't stand, I was in Alaska once for a gig and it was, dark. And I think it was like April and I did get to see the Aurora Borealis, which is amazing. But,
isn't it?
3 months out of the year, somewhere, wherever you live, you're going to have challenges. So I try not to complain.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Does it inspire you? Does being in Coachella Valley inspire you? The natural beauty, things of that nature?
Oh, thanks for that.
Does it inspire your music?
It totally does. I am fortunate to live in a nice home, and I picked this location because I can walk out my front yard and go up into the foothills and hike with my dog.
Everybody's been commenting about the beautiful piano behind you.
Oh yeah, that's an old Steinway that's been laying around.
That's been laying around.
I brought it in.
I hope that doesn't disappear.
It is really weird. It's like almost like a latency, but I don't know. I think it's all good.
That's it.
Anyway,
It is.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
it's a cool vibe. It's like
there is a definite vibe out here, Jim.
I can't wait
It's very different.
What happens when you're playing?
I know. It really is. The sun is really, really making some remarkable nuances on, on my glass pane there, my
Oh,
glass
wow.
windows. And
I
also
almost
because
wish we could see it, huh? Mm.
yeah, I don't know if it could capture it, but I have dual pane windows because of the
Ah,
heat.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
there's some
Keep it out.
real odd reflections that come through sometimes. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Um, but I can't see myself living anyplace else. It's rather
Yeah.
remote where I
Yeah.
am,
Yeah.
and no street lights. It's and it's exactly where I want it to be. I'm in between Palm
Yeah.
Springs and
Oh, yeah.
Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's Joshua Tree. I've been coming out here. I've had a romantic relationship with the desert since I was 15. I drive out here
Absolutely.
just
I
for
drove
fun.
alone through, I don't know if you ever did. I was on a TV shoot. I mentioned it multiple times. I might even write a book about it, but because it was life-changing, I was on a TV shoot just west of Vegas in Pahrump, Nevada, and took the rental car and drove alone, unannounced in a rental car with no supplies, nobody knew on the planet, no family, friends, nobody, and drove completely in August alone through Death Valley. And
Wow.
it was really it changed. So many things happened that were life affirming and life changing because it was
Yeah.
all self with self in this rental car in
Wow.
August and the whole way and then the whole way back, and it was really amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I can hear
And
the
I'm an
music
ocean
for that.
guy too. That's why, because I
Huh.
grew up, we're
Uh-huh.
here on the East Coast and the Northeast, and I absolutely love the ocean, the rhythm, the tide, the beauty of it. The sun rises and sets in it
Yeah.
like it does the desert. And the ocean, just for me, is such, just hearing the waves and just knowing that it's constant. It's a constant, and
Yeah.
it's got movement and beauty, and it
Yeah.
breathes life, and it
Huh.
also offers pleasure. The ocean is really something for me, and I'm very inspired by it. And we're just a couple blocks from it here on the
Oh, cool.
coast. But the desert really was something
Yeah.
stripped, raw, hot, risky, bold, and beautiful and
Yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Really.
I like your description of it. That's pretty much it. There's something, well, first of all, there's a vibe here. There's a vibe, that I've not felt anywhere else in the world. And I've traveled, I've been to Europe, I've been to Alaska. I've not felt anything like that. It's both calming and nurturing, and sometimes it brings out parts of you that you didn't even know existed. The solitude that I have here has granted me, I have 4 more songs that I'm working on, and they come from absolute solitude. There's something here that grounds me enough
Yeah,
to just pour it out,
absolutely.
And
Speaking of,
it doesn't matter what I could use any vessel, a Coke
that's right.
bottle, a
Yeah,
cup. It
all of
just
it.
spills out. It just spills
It's
out onto the page. It's amazing, and I'm
Speaking of
blessed.
which, we would love to hear some of it spill out through your musical expertise. Did you want to share something with us with your fabulous guitar?
I'd love to. I'd love to play the song, let your listeners hear the song, and then maybe play you something I just finished but haven't finished the recording, but it's copywritten, so I can play it too.
Tell us about the song itself. What was the inspiration for this song?
I'm going to grab my guitar because it helps me.
Yes, and tell us before even that about the beautiful guitar.
Oh man! Oh, this it's so weird. I'm going to try and do one last adjustment. This is whacked out. I haven't had this happen.
You know what it is? I
Moment.
think it's because of the bright sun.
Yeah,
Because it's happening on the.
Hang on, one sec.
She just like disappears. There's a beautiful shot of the living room.
All right, we'll see.
And there she just.
Oh my! Wow, this is crazy. Let's try something different. Hold on.
This is one of the things that I actually enjoy about doing the shows live. If we, scripted everything and made everything so perfect, when I work in television and radio, sometimes we do that. There's just you, you,
Gosh.
it's like I should bless you. You've got like,
Wow, it's a cross. Oh my gosh. Let's see.
when
It's
you
kind of-
sat in the chair, your face planted itself before your hair did. Your hair trailed your face.
Wow. And that's just natural light.
I think it's the light. See, right there is good.
Okay.
Right
Oh,
there.
you've been
It's when
such a
this,
dear
it's,
and so patient. Thank you.
I've been on sets and live radio and television where all kinds of stages where all kinds of stuff has happened. And I'm actually very good. I'm the person you want when chaos is happening. Those are some of my best moments. I love it because I, know how to solve it and fix it and make it smooth. But yeah, it's when the sun is coming in. It's what's competing with your background.
Yeah, I can see
But that right there is perfect. Nobody sneeze. But when you sat down, your body and your face landed in the chair before your hair did. Your hair sort of was like a flame. It sort of followed you after. Yeah, I would drink on that too.
Yeah, it's just water, but for now it's okay.
For now it's okay, but after the show, Jim, all bets are off.
I don't know. It just doesn't rattle me.
No, not at all.
And I'm really grateful that it doesn't rattle you.
Not at all.
Because it's not that I'm not prepared.
The incredible disappearing woman is what they're saying. I think it's cool. It's cool.
Watch this. That's awesome.
I like that. I like that little extra you have to your laugh. Your laugh builds to a laugh and it finishes with a little scream. It's cool.
I only do it
when you're on the Jim Masters show.
When it's levity coming out, it's just pure levity. And
Maureen's in Arizona. She says the Coachella Valley is a gorgeous little desert oasis. She's in Arizona, so she knows the desert.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Come on by.
Come on by Coachella Valley.
Yeah, it is. But
Coachella Valley, doesn't it sound like it would be next to Rodeo Drive? Coachella Valley. It just has that sound like it would be next to Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. Oh, we're going around. We live around the block from Rodeo. Our street is Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
It just has that sound.
South of Beverly Hills, just
south.
Has a little valley like Homey Hills.
Right.
Has the same kind of vibe, right?
Right.
But it is a sanctuary.
They're loving this. I'm dying here. They're loving the humor. You and I should go on the road together. This is funny.
Oh, I know. We would have a great time. We're too, I have this thing the other day. I was telling someone that I'm not blue collar or white collar. And I said, in fact, I'm no collar. I am no collar. Do not try to put a collar on me because I will scratch your eyes out. I thought that was pretty funny because I've had many people try to control my free spirit and it doesn't work.
No.
I am who I am and I'm proud of what I am. And even when when I don't look so good in the mirror or I make a mistake on the guitar.
Well, part of it.
Yeah, it is all part of it. It's just, I have this thing, and I did this in my coaching a lot. When I coached, let's just say Ashley Tisdale, because I didn't sign a no consent. I didn't sign an NA with her, but I'm not saying anything. She was the hardest worker I could even imagine. Yeah. And so when all of my students came in, we worked hard. We worked very hard and in a good nurturing way. And so that they would be prepared for their next audition, their next record, whatever it was. And you have to have like muscle memory in order to get your thought across, so that your hands know what they're doing before. If in a distraction, I would coach them. Oh, the mic you'll have feedback. What are you going to do? Stop? No. You just keep going. And so you do all the work, you get overly prepared. And once you're on stage, you have one job to do. It's be present.
Be present.
Just be present in the moment. And I know that sounds a little Well, it doesn't sound like anything. It's just true. The more present you are, the happier you are, you are enjoying this second, this minute of life. I feel that with you. I feel like you have that too. You don't have to. I mean, it's just the way you engage in a conversation. I can tell you're present. You're here 100%. So I really appreciate that.
Pleasure is all mine. Yeah, you know what? Because I always look at it like I'm learning along with those who have joined me to be a part of what I do, or in this case, this series. So I might be the host producer, but I'm here to learn, and maybe there's nuggets that I'll share and you'll learn, the viewers will learn, they'll chime in, maybe share some things as they have been throughout the show. And we're all sort of here together on equal footing. You know what I mean? You're an expert in your area. I'm an expert in my area, but we're all here learning together.
Right.
And I love to, well, I'm a Libra, so we're balance and harmony.
Oh, yeah. I love Libras. Yeah. And I'm
balance.
A Pisces.
My father, Pisces. Yes.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yes. Yes.
There's something very spiritual about Pisces. We are intuitive.
Yes.
Not that there is no hard and fast rule for any human. We all have the same DNA, and then everything else is individual,
Yeah, right.
But there are some things that I have found true in the zodiac sign. There's some signs that I kind of bristle at, maybe just a person or how they're acting or whatever. And then I learn their sign. I'm like, well, of course.
Because they're that.
It's really kind of.
And their moon and their rising is that.
Right.
My rising is Virgo. So it's funny because they're right next to each other.
That's a great combo then.
Virgo, then Libra.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Mine is Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yeah.
That's December, right? That time of year? Is that what that is?
I think so.
I think it's December time. Yeah. Cool stuff, huh?
Yeah. Very cool.
So you're all set up. You've got the beautiful. So the guitar, you were going to tell us about the guitar.
You're going to hear a little bit of. Let me turn this off. Yeah. So we'll try that again. Oh, well, there I go again. What?
How do you do that? That's what a stage entrance. We've never had a guest on our show who has done an entrance like this.
Wow. I don't know what that is, but it is cool. My guitar, this is one I love. And she's a vintage 1971 Guild jumbo blonde like me. And there's something about when I picked it up at it wasn't a pawn store, it was a music store in Santa Monica. And it just fit. It fits. There's an arch on the back of it, which I don't think you're going to be able to see, but the arch actually fits.
We want proof. What arch?
Whoa. There we go. We got it for a second.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there she is. Anyway, the arch
this
comes
is
out.
Incredible. Your act should be this. Nobody else does this.
Well, that's because I'm half here. I'm
That's
present, but I'm also present in the universe. So
exactly.
The universe is at play here.
You are manifesting that guitar being in your hands.
I am. Wow. I hope, but it is pretty weird. But this guitar is really special to me because of the arch. It sits right in my solar plexus. And that's where, that's where a lot of singing comes from, is the diaphragm, right? Happens to be in the solar plexus. And there's something that when I hold it, I'm more grounded than the ground. It's pretty cool. So
is it almost like a child, almost like a human? Do you give it humanistic qualities?
Well, I named her. Her name is Maybelline.
Maybelline.
Yeah, because she can play she can play or she can play folky stuff like. Anything like So it's just a versatile guitar, and I just feel it makes me sound better than I am. So that it has that element to it. But it's
Then never
beautiful.
lose that guitar then, right?
I
Anything
have
that does
others.
that in life, never lose it.
I have one more. Well, I have 5 more, but one that was given to me as a gift, and it's the classical style nylon guitar.
Oh,
And
yes,
it is
right.
just, man,
Beauty, right?
it's been used on a lot of recordings. A friend of mine used it for a couple of years. I let him have it. And when I asked for it back, he nearly wept when he handed it over to me. He did. It's that special. It's, that happens. I mean,
happens, yeah.
you probably have a special microphone or a special song that just makes you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or pillow or whatever it may be. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What did you want to play? You want to play that song?
Oh, I want to play The Bottles on My Side.
Fabulous. And the title
is The Bottles on My Side. I was going to tell you. So I was at a party. I was feeling real lonesome because I had broken up with somebody. And I was at a party. I'm sitting hippie style in the middle of the room singing my new songs. And I was in the entertainment industry, but it wasn't a great month. And I just felt dang lonesome. And I felt like I didn't have a friend in the world. And yet all these people are, clapping and doing all this. But I felt really lonely. And there was a bottle of whiskey that's maybe the guy next to me had in front of him or something. And I looked at that whiskey and I said, well, that bottle of whiskey could be a real good friend. And that bottle could be on my side. And that's the gist of the song. I'm not like an alcoholic or anything, but it felt at the moment that drink out of that bottle, I felt it would be on my side because I didn't feel like I had anybody on my side right then.
Right, exactly. So when you reached for the bottle and grabbed it from the guy, what did he say?
Oh, he hit me. And then, I hit him back and it was a big brawl.
And that's it.
No, that was just the image. When the next day I thought, wow, that was such a weird party because you can hear it in the song. But I'd love to sing it for you. If you
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Shelley Rae Speck on the Jim Masters Show Live. Coming to us live from her beautiful home in Coachella Valley, California. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give this episode a thumbs up. Leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. Thanks for being here, everybody. We love having you on the Jim Masters Show. Here is Shelley.
At a party singing in the middle of the room, getting sentimental. I've had more than just a few, but the bottle's on my side until I fall down. Only friend I have in this crazy town. Gotta pull myself together for the next free round. Drinking, and I'm slowly sinking. I don't do much thinking. All I do is dream about you. And I'm broken, wishing and a hoping. Never been so lonesome. All I do is dream about you. Here comes some friend of yours I knew very little, if at all. He fills me in, he turns the knife and lets the pieces fall. But the bottle's on my side until I fall down. Only friend I have in this crazy town. Pull myself together for the next free round. Baby, I'm drinking, and I'm slowly sinking. I don't do much thinking. All I do is dream about you. And I'm broken, wishing and a hoping. Never been so lonesome. All I do is dream, 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 dream about you. The fireplace has your face in each and every flame. It was a long time ago, I know, but it feels like yesterday. The bottle's on my side until I fall down. Only friend I have in this crazy town. Pull myself together for the next free round. Drinking, and I'm slowly sinking. I don't do much thinking. All I do is dream about you. And I'm broken, wishing and a hoping. Never been so lonesome. All I do is dream, 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 dream about you. Dream about you. Dream about you.
That is really beautiful. That is really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Very touching, very soulful. And that really cuts right to boom, 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 huh?
Wow. Yeah, it does. Yes.
When you sing it, you can see that you are living it. You know what I mean? You're transported to another. You're not just singing the words, the lyrics, and just playing the melody. You are in it, like you're taking us with you to that scene. And that's incredible. That's not always something that can easily be mastered, but it's like you shut off certain parts of Shelley, and then this other part of you rises up and comes out through the song, which is spectacular.
Wow. Wow. What an elegant conversation. Thank you. That means a lot to me. And you're so gifted as a wordsmith, and that means a lot to me. Thank you.
I appreciate that very much. The audience as well. Pam is clapping with hearts, and Kathleen's in New York City says very nice with claps. Sherry's in Kansas, and she says great song and beautiful voice. And Maureen says that was soulfully beautiful. Brava. Matter of fact, she did a super chat, which is so great. Beautiful green color. Green's my favorite color. Maureen says, cool. After dealing with no air conditioning for a week in hot Arizona, a week with no air conditioning, I really need these laughs. Thank you, Shelley and Jim, for making my return to Levity Hall so much fun. She was staying with like her son and that type of thing while there was no air conditioning in her house.
Wow.
To go to where the air conditioning is. Could you imagine it?
Maureen, I'm so
thank you for that super chat, Maureen. That's beautiful.
That's just amazing that you have this forum to look into, and it is always a pleasant and life-affirming thing to watch. So I'm glad you have that. Glad you have internet, Maureen.
Right, to be a part of that. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe
Sky
no
Blue
AC
Drummers
yet.
Here.
Oh.
Love it, my friend.
Oh, thanks, Sky Blue.
Nobody knows you. Love it, my friend, huh?
Yes,
and
yes.
Purple Hearts.
Yeah. A really, really good drummer that I've known for a very long time and quite special.
Have you worked together?
Yeah, we've got a song in the hopper right now that we're
nice.
It's a lot of fun. It's rootsy, bluesy. It's called Hey Cowgirl.
Oh, cool.
And it's real fun. It's probably going to be sung by a man, but it's real good. Tells a great story about a guy who sees a woman in a bar, but it's not creepy.
Right.
It's just, let's go over to the Missouri River and we'll go on a boat ride and that kind of thing. It's real sweet.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's a real
That's
sweet song. I mean, it's a little bit, it's kind of that kind of thing. But it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Good. Yeah, that sounds good already.
So
huh?
she's also a really gifted writer too. It's fun to write with. We write all the time.
Here's this for a segue. What was it like to open up for Mr. Mister?
Wow,
Huh?
Yeah, that was when I had the band. We had big hair, like the fellow on the left there. My hair was probably bigger than his hair. It was big.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a mullet kind of thing. And I have real thick hair, so it looked good. But what happened was my agent at the time was working with Mr. Mister. I don't think he was working with Melissa Manchester. It was the same bill. And
as Melissa, yeah.
Man, is she like a treasure or what?
Is she not? You see the two? I don't know if you saw the episodes that she was on. She was on recently, and then we did one last year that was iconic. The conversation we had, we just let it roll, and it just rolled, and we covered everything. Matter of fact, one thing that stood out that I've mentioned to a couple of other performers, and I use it as a reference point. I mean, we had some iconic things we said, but we talked about the songwriting process, and she mentioned, and maybe it's the same for you, so you'll probably relate to it. But she mentioned, I said, how are you inspired and things of that nature. And she said, Jim, sometimes I can be inspired at moments I never even expected, like waking up out of a sleep. Maybe there was a dream and going right to capture it. She says, I could be walking through the house and all of a sudden some inspiration hits me. And she said, and when the inspiration hits me, I need to get right to the piano. There's a recorder sitting next to it. I got to press record, and whatever's flowing through me, I got to work it out on the piano and be recording it as it's coming through me. Because if I don't do that and I let time elapse, it diminishes, or it won't be as fresh as when it's being inspired, that moment of inspiration. So she goes right to the instrument, presses record, and starts getting it down. No matter how, mishmash it may be, it's just coming through her. How about you? Do you find you do the same thing as you're inspired? You got to go sort of save it, capture it as it's happening?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what a great way to put it. It is something that just comes, you just don't know. I get a lot of ideas when I drive, especially out here in the desert. The drives are just miraculous and wonderful, and not a lot of traffic, no congestion. And it's pretty cool. But that's exactly how I write when I'm not project writing, when I'm, writing for someone else to support their narrative. That's how I write. It comes, and then I jump out of bed, and I always have my iPhone with recording, and I grab my guitar, and I let it stream out. It spills. It literally spills out, and I let that go on for as long as that lasts, and then I go back and I edit, and I think, yeah, but if you did that note instead of, like, I was doing a lot of freestyle stuff with this song. I was going, the bottle's on my side, because I can. And so a lot of times I'll change a note because it has a little more, I'm feeling it at the moment. That was all improvisation. A lot of those little flutters and ornamentations that I was doing. But she's exactly right. That's exactly what happens to me. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. There's not like, oh, I'll sit in a room and be quiet for a minute. It isn't like that at all. I could be chopping broccoli, and I hear, or I could watch my dog and he's just so beautiful that something comes over me. into me. It feels like something comes into me. And,
Yeah.
Having grown up with, I'm grateful. There's a lot of things about religion that are controversial, but I am grateful for learning faith because it is something that is real.
Does it get
And
you through? Does it, especially like the last couple of years of craziness we've experienced?
yeah, and faith meaning, it's an activity that
Right.
you can use with your mind. Faith that.
And you have to have faith in yourself too. That's one
Yes.
major thing that a
Yeah.
lot of people, they don't have. And we had author and biographer, journalist James Gavin on, and he has a fabulous book that is about George Michael. It's called George Michael, A Life. And he's done books on Peggy Lee and Chet Baker and Lena Horne and George Michael. And he talked about, with all of the riches and all of the fanfare and being, iconic in the music industry and popular and everything you could want, he was not at all happy with himself. He even has that song, Faith, Gotta Have Faith. He didn't have faith in himself at all.
Yeah.
And that was part of his downfall. And that is something I always say at the end of this show. I say, love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to love yourself, because, and I have to remind myself to do it too, because there are sometimes when you're the only one in the room and there's a mirror, and you have to be comfortable with what you see and have confidence in yourself and faith that you can, no matter what life's throwing at you, you can get through, and you can, and you have a voice and a seat at the table, and you're worthy and you're important, and maybe your vision or dream isn't exactly like everybody else's, but that's what makes the world go around. If every single one of us thought the same way constantly, there would be no new inventions, entrepreneurial spirit. There'd be no new things on this planet happening.
Yeah.
So the faith is so important.
It is, and life is individual.
We're preaching ministerial.
No. I
should be a minister. I think I am, as a broadcaster in certain ways.
Yeah, you do. You bring out a different. You bring something out that's real, certainly in me. And life is individual. We are all individual, thank goodness. And to learn to take the good with the bad, to remind yourself that you're worthy, even if it's you have to do it consciously. And then it's like learning an instrument. You practice and practice, and one day you've got that phrase down. And that's what it's like. You have to remind yourself, I'm worthy. I'm here for a reason. And it's unfolding, that's how I think. But I was going to tell you a quick George Michael story, because Rob Kahane represented George Michael, and he also represented our band for a short time. And I was able to meet George Michael because of all the different functions. And he was the shyest guy, and he was not at all the persona. Faith had just come out. And so we would, there'd be bowling parties and things like that. And I was just very moved by his, how introverted he was, which is very true. I mean, at Michael Jackson, it was like shy, very shy, introverted. A lot of people think that performers like that are like wild and a lot of them aren't. Alanis Morissette, she's an introvert. And she gets on stage and she just wants to tell her story, and that comes across. And it's the same with George Michael. But I wanted to comment quickly, if I may, about how I opened for Mr. and Melissa Manchester. It was a big deal for our band because we were a baby band, and we got our own trailer, and there was like drinks. It was so cool. We were riding high.
Sparks.
Sparks that was a great show. We actually got booed at first.
Did you?
Yeah, because we weren't an opening act was not announced, but the gig that I opened for was Mr. and Melissa Manchester was on the roster for that show as the Great Pro Peace March It was outdoors. And so I never got to meet her because she went on after me. And I think we just couldn't hang out. I can't remember why. And I never got to meet Mr. But it was interesting. So I did open for them, and yet I never met them, which is very common when you're an opening act. A lot of times the bigger, they weren't like this, but I'd had other people that I opened for, and they're like, they don't even want to talk to you. They're like,
right, exactly. Yeah. Who are you?
They weren't like this because I didn't meet them, of course. I was big fans of both. But anyway, yeah, it's a pretty interesting. Sparks, we opened for, and the audience, I could hear them, and they were saying, "Who's that girl?" and I thought, wow, okay, this is going to be interesting. But again, once you get on stage, you let go of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your only job is to be present. So they did start to boo. And I remember I had my guitar on, and I went to the mic, and I started whispering, "Hello, I just hope everything's going to be okay." And I raised my arms like this, very angelic, and whispered and whispered. They stopped. Rather than screaming at them, and or having one, they calmed down and they listened. And it was a technique I taught when I was teaching voice, because again, I was just present. And somehow I knew that if I just started singing like this, everybody's going to go, what's going on up there? Isn't that interesting?
And it also, it de-amps any angst. It de-amps the angst, because they would expect you to come out and maybe be defensive or shoot it back or be louder than them. And you used reverse psychology that worked.
It worked. I'm not saying that worked all the time. Well, it did work all the time. I rarely got booed, but that was, it was just
great idea.
Instinct, instinct, like, and then hold out my arms like, hey, and go into the mic. Yeah. Just like, I'm here. We're harmless.
Right.
Take a chance here. And they ended up really, really liking us because it was a good booking. Sparks is legendary, and we were kind of a quirky, rock band, and it worked. It worked really nicely. So
how did you end up writing music that ended up on Beverly Hills 90210?
The band broke up. We did a recording for RCA, and there was a lot of politics. And I loved my band members. We were a family, that happens. And but I had to make some changes that were hard, and the other band members weren't, quite. That had come from labels. Oh, well, we don't like that player or whatever, and it was really difficult. And I really didn't like it, and I decided I didn't want to perform anymore. And I met up with a woman named Angie Rubin. We began to collaborate, and then we were signed as a team to A&M Records publishing division, and we did a 4-year contract. And each year you have a quota, to your publisher. You have a certain amount of songs that you must submit. And then a lot of times during that time, they would come to us, and maybe we weren't working on something. They'd say, "Hey, there's somebody the music supervisor from 90210 just called, and do you have anything?" And they pitched, I think it was called Ready for Love. And they pitched it, they liked it, and that's how it went.
That is cool. That is cool, huh?
Yeah, so I did that, and then I eventually resigned. I wanted to do other things besides just project writing, and
Josie and the Pussycats.
Same thing. That was with A&M as well. Almo Music. It was Almo Publishing was A&M Records publishing division. It was Alpert, A-L, and Moss, M-O. Almo was their publishing division, and A&M was Alpert and Moss. So that was something else that came our way.
See, they knew that working with you, your music would definitely not be a dog, because then it would have been Alpo Publishing.
That's funny.
My mind, when it comes to humor, is always on. I get that from my father.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, the
it's
Pisces,
always
man.
yes, the Irish part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys close?
We are. You're very close. We're
Okay.
very
Awesome.
close. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're very close. So yeah, my family, very loving parents and siblings. I mean, just my mother's the youngest of 16, so she's got a big family. And my
What did you say 16?
my mother's the youngest of 16. Yeah. And she's the youngest of 16. And there's only 20 years difference between my mother, the youngest, and the oldest, Gertrude, and all the kids in between. So you figure that my grandparents had that amount of kids in just 20 years. And they're,
That's
a New England family, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New England,
right.
my father's side, the New York side. And then, of course, we have relatives all over the country and Canada and Europe and everything. But
Wow.
the youngest of
So you
16.
must have had like oodles
A
of
lot of relatives,
cousins.
cousins and aunts and uncles. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
my mother, because she's the youngest of the 16, her nephew, Ray, because again, there's a 20-year difference between the oldest and my mother, the youngest. My Aunt Gertie's son, Ray, because again, Aunt Gertie's 20 years older than my mother, her son is only 1 year older than my mother. So my mother is his aunt, but yet she's only 1 year older than her nephew. So,
Wow.
so you know what happens then? She said, they're more like brother and sister.
Yeah.
They're much more
Yeah.
like brother and sister
Right.
when it's that close and that
Yeah.
si-
Definitely.
situation. But yeah, definitely.
That's a lot of children. They were
That
quite
is a
prolific.
well. There was only 3 channels to watch back then, right? A lot of land to till.
Yes. Wow. Did
That's
they so d where did they live, your parents? Where did they
well
live when they had 16?
when my
Oh,
grandparents.
grandparents, yeah.
Yeah,
Where did they
grandparents.
live?
So let's see, my great grandmother on my mother's side, great grandmother, came from Sweden. She was a princess, lived in a castle that still exists in Gothenburg, Sweden, part of the Swedish royal family. Her father was a general in the Swedish army. They came over, landed in Boston, Massachusetts. That's the great
Wow.
grandmother, my mother's mother's mother. She then married her husband. This would be my great grandfather. His family came from Europe, settled in New York, and then they went up to Canada and they settled a town and a mountain up in New Brunswick, Canada,
Oh,
called
wow.
Kierstead Mountain and Kierstead Falls, which is still there in New Brunswick. A lot of the beautiful Christmas trees come from that area that come down
Huh.
here, the blues, the spruces and everything. And then he came down to Boston, and that's where he met my great grandmother. They married, lived just outside Boston. Then they had their children, one of which was my grandmother, my mother's mother. Then she married, she met her husband, married him, which would be my grandfather. And then they moved from Boston, Massachusetts to Hartford, Connecticut,
Oh,
because of job careers. And that's where they had the 16 kids, Hartford, Connecticut,
interesting.
and
Wow.
then branched out to the suburbs
Uh-huh.
around the Hartford area, between
Yeah.
Hartford and Springfield, Massachusetts. And so they're all over. We have cousins that are in Missouri, and you name the state, we have relatives,
Wow.
and they've done all kinds of incredible ancestral stuff because the family's so big. And then my father's side, my mother's English, Swedish, and French. My father's English, Irish. And the
Huh.
Masters came over from Yorkshire, England, my father's side. They settled in New York City. And then
Wow.
his mother's mothers came over from Ireland, and they settled in New York as well. And then the Masters had jewelry stores in Manhattan, and then they spread out from there. The Irish side came out to Astoria, Queens, where Tony Bennett
Oh,
actually
I know
comes
Astoria
from. And
very well.
my
Yeah.
father was there.
Mhm.
And then he was transferred in his career up to Connecticut, met my mother. They got married, and then they moved to New York because of his career. and they had a house built out east on Long Island, further out
Mhm.
east.
Mhm.
And that's where we were raised, in New York, out east on Long Island.
Where in
And
Long Island what did you?
do you know Suffolk County at all? Do you know Nassau
Oh,
and Suffolk County?
yeah, yeah. I lived in for a year, Stony Brook, New York.
Oh, Stony Brook. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I went back there to. I was going to do some master classes in voice
Yes, you know the
at the
Smithtown
university.
area, that
Sure.
area,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That area, beautiful. And
Yeah. Really nice.
but relatives all over the island. Matter of
Oh,
fact, that's where I started my career, is at the television
really?
stations in New York
Yeah.
on
Uh-huh.
Long Island. Yeah. And
Huh.
so, but we have family, and then they sold their house and had a house built in Florida, which is where they are now.
I see.
And they did well because they had the house, built, and then they had it many years in New York and sold it in 2006 before the market
Oh,
crash. They had no
wow. Nice.
thought of that, and then they
Wow.
had the house. My mom doesn't want to give up
But your father was a Pisces. He's intuitive.
Pisces, and my
So,
mother's an Aries. Yeah.
oh, that's a good blend because that's really some balancing there. Interesting.
Yes.
But he may have thought maybe Pisces are intuitive. They really feel the market. It's interesting. I've done well in
Yes.
the market, really
My
well.
father, the charismatic, funny, greeter, welcomer, the joke teller,
Oh,
that type of
cool. Uh-huh.
personality. And
Sure.
my mother, a little bit more quieter, a little bit more New England Yankee, a little bit more
Uh-huh.
reserved,
Yeah.
salt of the earth,
Yeah.
home and hearth, family,
Yeah.
rock solid. So a wonderful blending of that New
Mhm.
England sort of Yankee way along with the New York energy.
Right.
So uh,
And the
uh,
Irish. That
you've got the
Irish.
Irish and the
Yeah.
English, Swedish, and then of course if you do DNA, you can probably find even more. But an interesting blend. So there's times where I like to be out in the action, in the thick of it, in the party. And then there's times I just want to be in my backyard,
What?
quiet with the
Wow.
shades down,
So you got the best of both worlds then. You got the balanced, Aries, more reserved, but also what's nice though is if you don't have that balance, it's really sometimes I would think hard to be on all the time.
Right.
Um,
And I have no
and
desire to be, which surprises
yeah,
people. Some
yeah,
people think because I've been doing this a long time and I'm on television, radio, and stage and film, and I'm always and I love doing it. And the version of me that you see and hear when I'm on television, radio, or even this series, is what you'll see in the supermarket in terms of the person.
I love that.
Uh,
I'm gonna make a note of
maybe
that.
the lights charge things up a little bit because you're in an atmosphere where
Sure.
you're live and the lights, but generally 99% it's the same guy that you'll see in the Home Depot or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are times where I absolutely love a quiet Sunday. We're along the coast walking or biking or swimming. There's
Mhm.
nowhere you have to be. There's nobody that no hands you have to shake. There's nobody you have to, you know, like you say, follow their narrative.
Yeah.
I know what you mean with doing that. Have followed a lot of narratives and have made a lot of people money for their narratives. They've made a lot of money with me helping them facilitate their narratives.
Yeah, yeah, and you have that
And I,
quality
and I still do.
because you are totally present
The Jim
right
Masters
here, right
show is my
now.
narrative. this
Yeah,
this thing
yeah,
is my narrative,
right, right.
which is
But
kind of
that you
cool.
bring that out in people, I think,
I
I
enjoy
feel
doing that.
like I could tell you anything, you know?
I
And
I
it's not
enjoy
because
doing that.
you're on, it's not because I'm on, it's just because two folks having a conversation.
Right. It's not because you're on and I'm on. It's because we're in. It's
We're
because we're in.
in. Oh, I like that.
Write that down. You got a lot of stuff. You're jotting a lot
Well,
of
I
stuff
love
up.
that though,
You got
I
it's
do. I get
cyber sick.
inspired.
We went
Yeah,
from it's cyber sick to it's
we're
on.
in. We're
We're
in.
in.
Levity. We are in
Love it.
levity.
No, no, I tell you that happened. It's become like sort of our branding because of when I said light, love, and levity. And I know some people who watch all the time, they've heard it a million times, but there's so many new people watching. And some people will ask, what's this levity thing? And it's because, just happened to say it accidentally when I was saying light, love, and levity, and I said the love and levity part too fast, and out came levity. Hello, JMS Levity family, and the rest is history. How about this one too, my friend? Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Wow.
song that Angie and I wrote together, and it's a song called All of My Days. It's really, I have to say, it's a really beautiful song, and the production is amazing.
Yeah.
Angie and I produced it, and we just got very lucky to get these incredible players who, were just coming up in their ranks.
Yes.
And we would have these players come in like Gray Lease and Paul Bushnell, and Paul Bushnell's a brilliant bass player, brilliant. He's on tour right now with Tim McGraw.
Oh yeah.
And we've stayed in touch. He's just a wonderful human being, Irish lad with a thick, nice brogue, beautiful. And so some of the players on there were like Timothy Drury, I think, played on that record. And we just were very fortunate, and we recorded the song in Studio C, where Tapestry was recorded, because that was the A&M studios that we got to make our demos in. And we really never did demos. We really Angie was like just a wonderful producer, just like no detail would go undone. And so we did a lot of songs. So that particular song got into it was the end title credit on a movie called, what was it called? It was with Mark Harmon, and it was the end title. It was, what was the name? Worth Winning.
Oh yeah.
It was a cute little film. And the end title credits are going, and that song, that recording was one of them. And then the same recording got into Rookie of the Year, which was really cool and very nice for royalties and that kind of thing. We love that.
Do you like film scores and soundtracks and things of that nature? Is that something that you would love to do more of?
I think now, I did, when I was a freelance writer after the contract, I did everything. I had a mortgage.
Did you do jingles and all that too? Get into that world?
Jingles. I did some where I didn't get credit. And I did a lot of television series for Saban. I did a movie trailer for Saban Entertainment.
What are some of you remember some of the television series?
Yeah. One was called The Adventures of Oliver Twist. It was an animated show. It was a good program. So I had a studio. I record the actors. I would play all the instruments for the most part, and produce it, and make sure it was broadcast quality, and do it all in a week.
Yeah.
And, it put bread on the table. But there were some others that, that are credited and some that aren't. And, a lot of time I did a lot of movies for television, Lifetime movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my God. No one could protect her. And the Robert Hansen story about the spy, brilliant movie. So I did a lot of that kind of stuff.
That is cool. Do you ever see these things come on and hear them? Do they ever pop on your screen, your TV or whatever? And you're like, wow, that's right. I did do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's got to be kind of cool.
Yeah. And I do, luckily get royalty checks, and I go, oh yeah, I forgot I wrote for that, and it's just
That's legacy stuff. That's
blessing.
That's in stone forever. That's those things are there.
Yeah. I mean, my first thing I got a song in by a dear friend was the music editor, and she heard a song I did called Goodbye, and she got it into a movie with Mare Winningham and Joe Kleiberg. It was called Shy People. And so I went to the screening. And it's like, it always is a big deal.
Isn't it?
You hear your stuff. First time I heard myself on the radio, a song that I wrote on the radio was on K-Rock, and it was another artist who performed the song, and it was like, I just was tickled. I just get tickled. I'm 2 years old, and I'm riding a pony, It's
become
awesome.
a kid again. Exactly,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful
Yes.
experience. You
Yeah.
also, did some things with Katey Segal, huh?
I did.
Yeah.
Katey had heard a song, had heard Katie's manager at the time was someone who I also was working with. And Katey had heard my material
Yeah.
from this manager. And she stopped and she said, "That's who I want to write with. That's who I want to
Mm,
write with."
mm.
And so she came over, and even before we wrote, we had gotten to know each other. She was living in the Hollywood Hills, and I went up, and she is just an outstanding human being. She's
Yeah.
real. She's authentic. She's funnier than hell.
Yes.
And she's a brilliant singer.
Of
Just
course, there's always a song
wonderful.
that people think of when they think of her, probably in the beginning, "Love and marriage,
Right, right.
love and"
Yeah,
from Married with Children.
sure. Yeah. That was I think
Some
she was still working on Married with Children when we wrote together. So we wrote one song and it turned out nice. She didn't end up putting it on her record,
Yeah,
but we had a great time writing, so I have no problem saying that we, collaborated, and,
did, yeah.
it was wonderful experience, wonderful human being, just remarkable. Just sometimes I think I get along better with people that have what I call range, and I mean it from, like, on a continuum. "Oh, there's my hand, it's gone. Did it again." But
You are magic.
so I get along with people that have a range. They can uh, they're intellectual and yet they're sensitive. They can be informed politically, and then they have another side that's just silly. I get along well with people like that, with a big range. Little ranges, people that are just have a narrower worldview. That's fine. That's great. But I know I really click when I meet another human being that has, like you. You could talk about anything. I am positive of it. And if you didn't know the subject, you'd be like, "Oh, well, what can I learn from this?" That's range. And I find that that is a quality that um, is very attractive, you know, and I don't mean like, in a silly way, corny way. It's just
What the
that's
hell? The silly
me.
way is good too.
Yeah, silly way is good too. 'Cause silly's fun. Silly's great
All the
fun.
above, right. Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. No, right, it's gonna make for a good, rich, deep conversation. You'll be left like, "Wow," and I've
Yes.
always loved conversations like that. I've had conversations where I love psychology too, and I love
Yeah,
figuring
yeah.
things out, and I always say one of the questions that I tend to ask just in generalized living is, why? Because, and I've mentioned it a
Huh,
couple times on this show and elsewhere, but I love
yeah,
the why because I like to feel it. When I
huh,
feel it, whatever it is, when I feel it, then I'm even more wide, like you say, the arms open.
yeah.
When I'm feeling it, it takes me to another level, not a different level of interest, though it heightens that. It just takes me to another level of investment in it
Huh.
myself because
Yeah,
now I'm really feeling it. So
yeah.
let's then once we figured out the why and we're feeling it, then we can figure out the when, where, how, and what, the nuts and bolts of how to do it and how to put it together and all that other.
Huh.
But when I feel the why, there was a friend that mentioned that. She said, "You ask why a lot. You and your sister, you always talk in conversational style, like you're always interviewing. So why did you do that? Or why did you think that? Or why did you? Or what
Hmm.
was it about that? Or like questions because I'm
Yeah,
always learning. I'm
right.
always learning from the conversation, but always looking for ways to connect with that person
Uh-huh.
and have an interest in that person. Find something, even I've had opportunities where I've been thrust into situations in TV studios and elsewhere where the person that I'm now across from is the driest, most stoic, humorless, doesn't even seem to have any empathy type of individual
Mhm.
who may be very successful, but just you don't see that humanistic quality necessarily
Mm.
exuding, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We're all individuals. But when we're tasked with being in the same airspace and I have to do what I have to do, which is keep the train on the track and be the host or the anchor or the conductor of the train,
Right.
and they have to respond to whatever it is I'm delivering. There have been times where I've had those conversations and that stoic, dry, humorless, seemingly not empathetic person is reaching for a Kleenex and
Wow.
opening up in ways and apologizing that they're emoting.
Huh.
And I'm like, there's no need to apologize. I get it. I get
Wow.
it. Sometimes it's happened, and I've been told this by them, not me saying this is me, by the other person on the other side. It's something about when they look in my eyes. They always keep telling me when they look into my eyes,
Hmm.
like you said, they know that I'm not just there with them because I have to be and because we
Yeah.
were put together, but I'm actually riding in the hot air balloon with them.
Yeah. You're in it. You are
Wherever
in
they're
it.
going to take
Yeah.
me, wherever, if it's going to be sad or they're going to reveal things about their life, their fears, their unhappiness, their joys, their pleasure, I'm going to be right there rooting for you. I'm
Mhm.
right there with you. So lay it out, lay it on, whatever it is. You're okay. I'm not going to humiliate you. I'm not going to target you. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to, you can just lay it all out. And people do. And what's amazing is I'm learning about life myself as I'm doing that in a non-scripted way.
Mm.
That's why I love live and I love ad lib, because it's not claustrophobic. I mean, I've done a lot of scripted stuff. I've done a lot of narrative. I've done a lot of stuff where these are the questions, just ask the questions or do the research, prepare the questions, or just whatever it is, reading teleprompter, whatever. And then I love where it's just natural. Like
Yeah.
this whole thing is, you had no idea what was going to happen. You had no idea what questions were going to happen. The flow, you had no idea.
Mhm.
And we just sort of came together with our energies, with our fabulous, lovely viewers, and we created magic on the spot.
Yeah.
That is what I love to do.
Well, you bring
But
it
enough
down
about me.
to no, 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 no. I love it. I love it. It's meeting, a like mind, and I think when two people are in the moment at the same time, there's
Mm-hmm.
something really magical about that.
Very communal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Like
it's
I used to,
different. You don't always have that. You
no,
don't have that, and it's a blessing. It is a blessing.
the reference I use is, I love when we're in a movie theater, which is a thing that unfortunately seems to be going away, but when we're all these strangers are in this theater with their popcorn and their milk duds and their Twizzlers and their $7 soda, and we're in there and we're watching the Titanic sink.
Right.
We're all humans. We all have feelings. And when we're on this, especially something about the big screen, the sound of the
Mm.
music filling you, there is something about a movie theater that is magical. Even the old drive-in theaters, there's just something where you let it, because it's larger than you, like the ocean for me, like the desert. It's bigger than me, and it's always going to be bigger than me, larger than life. So here's the big screen, the music, and all of it's happening around me, and I just let it sort of take control. I hand over control, maybe control that I had during the day. And now I'm in a movie theater and I can hand that control over to the creators of the movie. And when the Titanic is sinking, we're all feeling the same human
Yeah.
emotions at the same time. That for that brief minute, And then once the movie's over, everybody gets out in their parking lot and they cut each other off and it's road rage. But at least in the movie theater,
Right, right.
while we're there, this another opportunity. I just mentioned it last night again. For me, even more than my birthday, Christmas Day, because of the fact there is the build up to it and everything. But for me, and maybe it's the upbringing and everything else that's, happened, how Christmas has always been something very grand and beloved in our family. It's the music, the phenomenal food, the love of family, the beautifully wrapped packages, the tree, the candy canes, the Santa Claus, God, the Christmas specials on TV, the music, the Christmas movies, the stores are all decorated. People are saying Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, or even Happy Hanukkah, whatever it may be. They're wishing each other well. There's a little extra zest in the step. People are almost a little bit childlike, and there's all this color and light and hope, and literally every sense that we could tap into, from taste and smell and sight, to, like I said, God and food and gifts and candy and cookies and dinner and family, relatives, lights, color, music. It's all happening at the same time. God and love, and it's all gifts given, gifts received. All of that is happening at the same time. It's like an ultimate sort of thing that's happening. More than my own birthday, that has always been my favorite day, because no matter what happens during the course of the year, that music that we heard since we were born, all those traditional Christmas carols start coming back. The world might have been on fire all year long with all the stuff that goes on.
Right.
And then here comes O Come All Ye Faithful. Here comes Silent Night again. And here comes, Deck the Halls again. Yeah. And it came last year, and it'll come next year, and it's been coming for years and years and years. Yeah. Almost like these lullabies that are settling us, if you allow it. Not everybody do. There's some people that are like, oh, I hate that stuff. But for me, I look forward to it because I absorb it like it's a constant that I look forward to, that sort of settles out the rest of the year, that whole Libra balance and harmony thing. And it's you're in touch with all these incredible senses all on that day. So when I was a kid, my least favorite day, the day after Christmas, when it all stops. It's like, what happened?
Well, it's a magical time. And, and it's not just because of a prophet that was born, which is how I celebrate it, which is very, very special. I go deep, deep in with my faith, and my faith meaning that I believe that Jesus was a prophet. He was here to teach. He wanted us to learn from him. And that's where I go with it. And then as you so eloquently put, expand on all of the physical things that mean. I mean, there are even moments of peace globally. If we're in a war, people will take time off and quit killing each other, and that's remarkable. That's remarkable. That is like on a level that families come together, even if they're have had an argument 2 weeks ago. Families come together, and that's something that I think happens magically at that time. For me, it's Easter. I just think
There's
Easter
another
is
great one. Yeah, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are my faves.
Yeah, mine too. Easter is big for me because it's rebirth. It's spring. It's rolling away the stone and let Jesus. The whole thing is just such a remarkable story. Just remarkable. And plus, I grew up in Missouri, and I learned to curtsy before I could crawl. That was the deal. I got pictures of me here with a little
We would
hat.
ask you to do that now, but you would just disappear as you're trying to do it. Half of you would curtsy, the other half would stay seated.
That's because of the magic.
The magic of it all.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do
But,
that with your arms.
I'm just, it's just my inner self is taking over. But I was going to say that that time of year was, patent leather shoes and a little,
Mhm.
a little dirndl. But we did that, every
Did you wear a
Sunday.
bonnet?
Oh yeah. Easter bonnet. Oh yeah. A
We
little,
used to have suits and ties. We would be in suits.
yeah.
It's when people dressed up.
Yeah.
Things were, you would dress up for certain things. They dressed up at weddings, dressed up at funerals, dressed
Right.
up for holidays, just dressed up for what it was, what it is. Um,
And my mother was a single mom, and for her to keep us looking that good, she
was
worked
a
in an
lot.
auto parts store. I
Mhm.
just finished a song called "Mama Tried," and it's called "Mama Tried," but she was just a child. She was young when she had us, and
Yeah.
then Daddy left. And my perspective on her now is, because I see pictures from those times, it's like we were immaculate. I don't know where she got the clothing. Probably my grandmother must have sewed. My brother always in a tie and a short sleeve white shirt, for church. Um, and she did the best she could,
Mm,
and it shows.
yeah.
But she tried her best. That's for sure. But I liked all that. I liked dressing up like that. My petticoat and my anklets and patent leather shoes.
You look forward to it all, right?
I
Yeah.
sure did, and curtsying when I met someone new, and if somebody came over for church, hi, welcome, that kind of manners are nice,
And
manners are
important.
nice,
Yeah.
and manners aren't,
Respect,
it's
civility,
not
all that.
fake.
Mm.
I still do it. You brought
Yeah.
up going to the supermarket. I'm exactly the same person. If I'm in line and I have a bunch of groceries and somebody's behind me, look like they're on their lunch hour and has like a Gatorade and a sandwich. Hey, go first. Go first. It's just manners. It's just common sense to me. Like,
I know.
even if I'm in a rush, I just
Yeah.
not pretend. I'll just say,
Hold the door or
yeah,
be
all
thank
that matters.
right.
All that is good stuff. Really good stuff.
We're on a mission to bring it back before it totally slips away, right?
Yeah. Well,
A lot of it's, product of what you learned and what you hope, the world would be like in certain ways. And,
a lot
it
of
makes
it.
the world spin a lot smoother when there's respect and kindness and
Yes,
empathy.
definitely,
And I know
definitely.
that sounds Pollyanna to some, but it really does. We're all supposed to get along and work together
Exactly.
and be collaborative and come up with ideas and root for
Right.
one another if we
That's why
can.
I'm
And
so happy to see some of the young people that I know and respect immensely. Like, I don't know if you know Flume, the
sure.
artist. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Or Billie Eilish. And you
Billie
see these
Eilish.
artists and you're like, and like, she's a real human being.
Hmm.
She is really, 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 I think has a lot of longevity in her career.
Yeah.
Um, and like most people my age, they're like, oh, we want to listen to the 80s. Nothing wrong with
70s.
that
And
either. Nothing wrong. It's just I'm always curious. I love hearing the new stuff. I mean, Stick Figure, I love Stick Figure. Glass Animals, all of those bands are like, they
unique.
make me hungry. They make me, I wanna write something
You want to
different.
create. Yeah, they want you. Exactly. It
Yeah,
makes you
it
want to.
hits you. And then there's a competitive spirit with writers, you know.
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
wanna write not even so much that next best single, but you hear someone speaking their truth, gives you the courage, gives you the impetus, perhaps becomes a muse to make you want to speak yours,
That's
you
right.
know?
Somebody that knew that it was around a long time who pops in towards the latter part of our show is Mr. George Burns.
Just where does he sit on your shelf? Is he next to Gilligan?
Yeah, he's next to
Junior
Gilligan.
Genie?
Yes,
I knew
he's
it.
next to
I knew it.
Gilligan, and he's next to Goldie Wilson, who was Don Full of Love in the Back to the Future movies. This was actually one of my mother's sisters She collected dolls, and then this guy, oh, real collectible dolls. I always say towards the end, got passed down to me, and it was 2 years ago, I put them on one show when we were talking about TV shows and nostalgia and everything. They fell in love with him, so he pops on with his cigar and his red hanky there, his pocket square. He said you knocked it out of the park. He absolutely loved the conversation. He loved the music, the laughs. And he said, "You're all right, kiddo," from George Burns.
That's very nice of you. Mwah. Gracie. I can be your Gracie.
The Gracie. Exactly. Yeah. He always puts a smile on everybody's face. What are some of those blessings and joys that continue in your life for you to want to continue after all these years in this crazy, unpredictable, frustrating, but fabulous industry that you're in?
I mean, I do have, goals. They will be, I'm sure of it. I would like, I really like Hayley Williams. I like her work. She writes a lot of her own stuff, but I'd like another artist, a younger artist, to do a lot of my songs. I have to perform, to promote the record, to promote the single and eventually the EP and the album. But my goal is to have a younger audience to interpret the same songs, because they're out there, they're out there. Yeah. There's a lot of great alt country bands, great folk bands that are, Americana is just on fire right now. It's wonderful.
It really is, isn't it?
It's great. And Americana for me is just storytelling. So that's why I started telling stories again. And I think these stories can be told by anyone, anyone. I was even thinking of, when I wrote The Bottle Lots on My Side, I was thinking maybe a guy should sing this song. So I started envisioning that, and it's like, yeah, absolutely. It's just a good song. It's a good story. Okay. And so I want to keep that alive. The stories are coming. I can't even keep up with them. I really can't. I have like 5 right now that I'm working on. And I told you about the one, Just a Child, about my mama. And then I have another song that's real fun and up called I'm Not the Marrying Kind. And it's a hoot. It's just a hoot. About a woman who goes on a cross country in her Cadillac. And she's driving along and, she meets people, but I ain't the marrying kind, betting that you'll find someone who will walk on down the aisle. Wedding bells will chime. I'm at the Jackson County line. Could use a glass of wine. Anyway, that's part of the
That's
chorus.
Great.
Fun. It's real fun. I'll send it to you. I have a rough vocal on it right now, but I want to get a different vocal. I'm not real happy with what I did. And I'd like to hear a younger generation tell that story. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Oh, absolutely.
It would thrill me. It would just thrill me. Not that I'm not promoting my version.
No, but still, yeah.
Yeah, just a younger
somebody else's spin on it.
And younger interpretation would be. And I learned that when I was doing demos when I was at Almo, A&M Records Publishing Company. I could bring in singers. Sometimes my voice would be, just perfect, but other times I'd be like writing and singing R&B with this, not R&B sound, but I could riff, I could do this. I'd bring in singers and they'd just like blow it out. Just, wow. So another interpretation would be just a huge blessing for me.
That's incredible, huh? That's really incredible.
Thanks for asking. That's a good question.
Oh, my pleasure. Usually I like to ask that to see, what drives people and sets them in motion. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you, Shelley, and the show met whatever expectations that you had as well.
Beyond. honestly. You're just a dreamboat. You really are. You're so full of range and have so many aspects to your wonderful, wonderful individual self. It's been a blessing, honestly.
I really appreciate that. My father has always said, and he told us this when we were kids, so it has stuck. And I think it's one of the great lines ever. He says, whenever, and he said this, I think I heard this, I think when I was 11 years old. Whenever anybody says something kind and nice to you, Jim, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
Yeah. Now that is a very unique sense of humor.
Yes.
Very unique.
Yes.
But if you want me to, I will.
Right.
But you're the management, so you already know.
For this one, I'm the management, right? Exactly.
Yeah. What a joy.
Absolutely. I concur. It has been with you. If folks want to get the song, they want to learn more, it is everywhere. It's on Pandora. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes, right? It's everywhere.
Everywhere. It's even on Amazon. I mean, you can download it on Amazon. You can listen to it on Spotify. You can download it on iTunes or Apple Music. Just type in, go to Apple Music, The Bottle's on My Side, come right up. You can buy it or you can just listen to it. I'd encourage you to buy it. That would be nice.
Yes.
But if you don't want to or can't, just give it a listen. And I hope you like it. Hope it means something to you.
The cover, how'd you come up with the cover with the palm trees?
It reminded me, I once went to a resort out here in La Quinta, and this looks like it was from there. When you go up this long driveway to the resort, the palm trees are like that. And it's just, but I was not so concerned about the resort, which was pretty luxurious. I just loved that view of driving and seeing these endless trees for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes of just palm trees and sky, palm trees and sky. There's my hands again.
I know. I was going to ask you if you wanted to go over and tickle the ivories with that piano, but the piano.
Oh, I'd love to, but
might just disappear on its own.
Right. It might levitate.
Like you might go towards the piano and then like walk into a wall or something.
Oh, you've been so generous. Thank you.
Why can't she make it over to the piano?
Because she's in another realm.
There's this fourth wall that you can't see.
I'm totally in another realm. I most of the time I am anyway.
Which is, you need that to be creative, right? You have to have that.
Well, yeah, you know that. Yeah,
that's another little extra third eye way of thinking.
Right.
That's what it is. A couple of really nice comments coming in. Sky Blue Drummer sticking with us. Thank you very much. Yay. Anybody watching for the first time, we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Spread the word about our series. Check out the other hundreds of episodes. Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment on our YouTube channel if you enjoyed it. Great show, Jim. Loved it. Shelley Rae. That is perfect. Thank you, Sky Blue Drummer.
Awesome.
And Maureen says, Jim, you are undisputedly number one at what you do. You bring out the best in your guests, and we feel like they are family by the end of the show. Shelley, you are a beautiful human. God bless.
Oh, my God.
Thank you for those beautiful, lovely words.
Thank
Mary
you.
in Florida. Great show tonight. Thanks, Shelley and Jim. You're very welcome.
Very welcome.
Kathleen in New York City. Thank you, Shelley, for being here, and these are some of our real faithful diehards. Thank you for being here and for singing for us. Great show. And there was magic. You kept disappearing. She threw that in. That was a little extra. She usually charges a high fee for the magic, but for us, she just threw it into the mix. She's very, very generous. Pam says she loves Pollyanna. Okay, that's good to know. We love that.
Yeah.
That is cool. All these great comments. You guys are truly the best. This was the best. Congratulations on, the EP and all the wonderful things that you've had going on in your life and continue to. Obviously, you love what you're doing. It's in your heart and soul. And now the narrative is all Shelley's. And that's a beautiful place to be. You've done all the other stuff. And, if it comes along, you'll still do that. But you're now living your bliss on your terms. And that is a very sweet spot to be, isn't it?
Oh, sweet spot is the word. Sweet spot is the
You're
word.
writing that down?
I am,
That's the next
because
song. So look for the next album. It's going to have it's cyber sick and sweet spots the word. And what else?
well,
She's got
it would be a
she's got
great
a
song,
list.
because you just hit my sweet spot. There's the title right there.
Now, what's
Right?
funny
You
is
just
she's
hit my
writing
sweet
all of this on her supermarket list for the week. She's got to go to the market tomorrow. She's going to bring that piece of paper. She's going to get the bread, the milk. She talked about the broccoli. She's going to get the ice cream, the peas and carrots. And then she's going to say, what is this? It's cyber sick. What aisle is that in?
It's so great, because when I get titles like this and I want to work on them, I see a color. I see colors of the image.
Yes, I
Image
do too.
of
I had somebody else
You
tell me
do?
that.
Wow.
And I
That's
had
interesting. I've not heard that from
Lacey
anybody.
Carpenter, who is a fiddler and a brilliant violinist, also a very deep intellectual person. She's in Nashville. She's been a guest several times on our show. Sweetheart of a person. She studied psychology and all this cool stuff, but she's a brilliant violinist and fiddler. She mentioned that. She said there's I forget what it's called, but there's an actual definition for people who see things, and especially music, in color. I see that, but you know what I also see? I see sounds of instruments as shapes. I also see, when I hear
Wow.
the sound of something, I see a shape from the sound. I see it as a shape as well. And we had a conversation a couple of times. I'll throw it in quick before we wrap. We're talking about instruments and the power of instruments. And I love harmony. I love when there's harmony, when there's choral harmony. I love when there's instrumental harmony. Instruments are playing off each other. It's really fantastic. And whether it's a band or it's a full orchestra, and there's just something incredible about it. And I'll listen to the same song multiple times on purpose, because every time I hear it, I hear something different. The first time, maybe I didn't catch the triangle, and it's only one ding. The guy standing there in the studio with the triangle waited for 4 minutes into the song to just do that one ding, which really is important to the song.
Right.
The second or third time, I'll hear the ding, or I'll hear other like little bongos in the back or other rhythms and different things, which I think is really cool. Encourage people to listen to something deeply more than once, watch a movie more than once, read poetry more than once, look at a painting more than once, and it'll seem different every single time, because you'll see little nuances in it as well. So with music, I had a conversation with somebody I interviewed in my professional world, and this was a cellist who graduated from Juilliard. We were talking about instruments, and I said, one of the instruments for me that really grabs me quick, and I love all the instruments, but one that really sort of just when my ears hear it, it brings me to this place of total depth, total stop traffic, total, this is what life really is all about. And it's when I hear the cello, when I hear the warmth, the depth of the melancholy, sort of enveloping, authoritative cello. When I hear the cello in any piece of music, or even singularly, it stops everything. Whatever's going on, for me, it stops traffic. And then I said to the cellist, I said, hey, they're going to throw this out there. Is this weird stuff? And I mentioned this on the show before, so some of the viewers have heard it, and I've mentioned it elsewhere. I said, I'm going to throw this out there, but for me, when I hear the cello, if I was to have some magical capability of giving the heart a sound that sort of mimicked an instrument, it would be the cello, that warm, deep, melancholy, just heart-centric sound of the cello. And he said, that's not crazy at all. That makes total sense. And I said, really? You get it? He says, absolutely. He said, because technically the cello, the sounds, the tones, that warmth of the cello is one of the closest, if not the closest, in sound to the human voice. And that's why
Probably.
you're humanizing it. And that's why you're
Right.
getting heart-centric, traffic-stopping feelings from that warm
Yeah.
sound of a cello.
Yeah.
It just really, it sums a lot up
Yeah.
for me as far as what life's all about when I hear the depth of the cello. And
What shape do you hear or see when you hear the cello? Is it an actual heart? You know, the icon for a heart?
yeah, it is a
Really?
heart. Yeah, it's like a heart.
Oh,
Um,
I've not heard that. I've
it
never heard that from
tugs
anyone.
at my psyche and my depth.
Yeah.
It really tugs at me. It really suddenly it like says to me, you know, all the nonsense that goes on every day, all the this and the that, and all the craziness and all the superficial, nonsensical crap that's out there.
Mhm.
Here's what it's all about right here.
Yeah.
This sound
Yeah.
is what it's all about. This
Yeah.
is one of those simple things in life. You know, you know what it is? It's a core sound for me. It's like core, you know, it's like a core. Like there's this and that and this and that. And then the cello for me is like the core.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I
And
really,
you must be an Elgar fan then, because that is beyond. That is just beyond. I mean, it's so amazing. If you've never seen the
it's a
documentary about
McCarthy.
Jackie, um, I would
Oh,
highly
yes.
recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's really amazing. I was going
Also,
to tell you, you kind of spurred something.
I found the word. Look, sky blue drummer. You know that where you see color?
Oh, synth. Oh,
That's what it is.
no.
That's what Lacey said it was.
Wow.
That's the word.
Synthesia.
When
Wow.
you see color, sound is color, or in my case, I also throw in shape. Um,
Wow.
I
That's
it
because of your range.
you know, it's very funny, and my sister has this quality too. We also, this is really going deep. Oh my God, put a pot of coffee on. We also can identify people we know in our life or in our lives. We can actually sit across from each other and start laughing at a table or feeling something that only the two of us seem to get.
Hmm.
Like everybody else, the relatives,
Hmm.
parents, cousins, anybody else, you know, they're like,
Wow.
what are you laughing at? What are you, we'll hear a sound in a song, you know, an
Hmm.
instrumental sound, or it could
Mhm.
be anything, or we'll see a shape, a chair or a lampshade or a funny shaped street light or something that will make us immediately think of a person that we know in our life. That sound will, like we talked about with the underscoring, that
Mhm.
sound will make us think about the same person. It could be a quirky sound. Maybe the person is quirky and funny. It could be a robust sound, and maybe the person is husky. It's just we identify certain personality traits with people we know, with sounds we hear in instruments, and with shapes that we see
Mhm.
in the
Hmm.
shapes of things.
You know, I'm
I
curious,
tend to humanize everything too. I humanize inanimate objects.
but that's
Is
I
there a
think
cat on the?
yeah, she was
I was
just
going to tell because
in
it
front
was
of my
just, I
computer is
couldn't tell it.
a
The
catwalk.
cat was disappearing,
Yeah.
and then it was there, and then I was like, "Is that her shirt or is that the cat?"
That's the Bewitched cat, the cat from Bewitched.
The black.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
No, she's a sweet little rescue. She's absolutely lovely. She's brings me a lot of love, man. She's
Mm,
also she can be persnickety.
yeah.
But I was going to recommend something. When I was in college, I went back to college. You know, I did my career thing. Then I decided I wanted to be a lawyer for some reason. But I went back to college and was taking some music courses. And one of the professors had written a book called Chasing the Wild Frequency. And it's about frequencies. It is truly just about frequencies
It
and how
really is.
people speak. When I taught voice, I taught lawyers. They would come in and they would be hoarse and they had like a big presentation to make or closing arguments, and there is no voice left. So I taught them how to sing, how to protect their voice, watch how to, hold on. No, Kitty.
Wants to be on screen. Yeah. Who do we have there?
She's a little Leela cat. Hey, baby. Say hi. Oh, she's a hoot.
She did.
She squawks. She doesn't meow. It's sort of scolding. But I was going to say it's a fascinating.
She must be union. She wants union rates to be on screen. That's all we get.
Honey, it's a demo.
It's all we get. If she did any more than year, it would cost us a fortune.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's got a contract with.
I like that. The Shape of Things to Come. Sky Blue Drummer, talking about shapes. And
it's a great song.
Nitzy McCarthy said, I played the cello.
Nitzy, hi.
In middle school, loved the golden sound.
Yeah.
Cool
Thanks
stuff.
for tuning in, you guys.
We're resonating with our viewers who are now all Lovedies. They're all Lovedies too.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a Lovedie? There's Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, Tonys, Tellys, Peabodys, and Emmys and everything else. But when you get, and the viewers already said it, you're a Lovedie on the Jim Masters Show live. Most people say that their feet start tingling. How do you feel being designated a Lovedie?
Oh, I love it. I'm a Loveteer. I am. I think you really branded your show because it is about that. And one of the viewers said Pollyanna, and I'm not sure what she meant about that, but I would take that as a dang good compliment because our conversation has been about positive things and creative things, and truly like no other interview. Not that we're doing an interview, we're doing conversation, but it's been, I have a page full of notes. Wow, that's a big
thing. Oh my God, it's now a horror movie.
Yeah, pages of things that you've said that have triggered things for me personally. Yeah. And I would love to come back on anytime. And of course, I posted today on Facebook and got a lot of that. Some of the Nitzy is a Facebook friend and a brilliant hiker. She hikes Pacific Crest Trail. She's just a joy to be around. And as is Sky Blue Drummer. And thanks you guys for tuning in. There's probably others that didn't want to comment or whatever, but I made sure that was posted on my Facebook and it went on Twitter as well.
And it'll be archived on our YouTube channel so people can tune in later.
Great. I'll make a note of that. I'll make a note of that. I'll just write it on the other side.
Right.
Oh, wait, that's full too. The other side is full too.
Wait, we got to do that again. We got to do full screen. That's amazing.
Wow. Whoa.
We didn't want to tell you, but every once in a while, Shelley gets a little shy. So now, if you remember Bewitched, wasn't it Aunt Esmeralda that whenever Darren would get mad, or Endora, her mother, Elizabeth Montgomery, Samantha's mother, would get mad or something, and she was getting scolded, she would just disappear. You'd hear her voice, but she would disappear.
Yeah, right. I loved when she would turn Darren into a goat or turn him into a flower, or it was
toad or
something.
Show.
It was very clever.
All of those shows of the time. Sky Blue Drummer says, shopping lists are the place for the best song lyrics.
Thank you, Sky Blue.
See? It all comes
Thank you.
Maureen says, yes, please come back. Jim leaves the porch light on, so come back soon. Maybe we will actually meet up in the desert someday, break bread. Another Jimism. I always say I hope to break bread with all of the guests, if they come here on the East Coast or I'm on the West Coast or whatever.
Well, you're doing a tour soon, aren't you? Aren't you coming out this way?
I'm going to the Reno, Nevada. Well, I'm going to Dallas next week. And then going in a couple of weeks after that to Reno,
Okay.
and then Sacramento, California,
Okay.
and then Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Whoa. That's like
Crisscrossing.
bipolar.
I
I mean,
just came back from
by
Milwaukee.
country. It's crazy.
That looks like some new Taekwondo thing you do.
I know. Yeah.
It's
I don't know what it is. I think it might be the virtual image in the background. Not that this isn't my home with the piano and stone fireplace.
and the couch that's so pristine, nobody's ever sat on it.
Right. I love that. It's like a high-end IKEA showroom.
That cat has been trying to jump on that couch for 2 hours and can't. And he keeps hitting against a wall.
Yeah, definitely.
I just came back from a television project in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which was absolutely spectacular. Second time in Milwaukee. But when we came back, our flight was delayed several hours due to very rough storms, and a lot of flights were getting all shuffled around and canceled. And our transfer was Baltimore, Washington Airport. And when we flew, well, they already told us in Milwaukee that the flight then from Baltimore, Washington back north up to here in the Northeast, there were no flights happening. They were all had been canceled. So we either would have stayed in Milwaukee and hoped for a flight at some point that night or that day, but probably not because they were all full, or flown to Baltimore and then figured things out from there. So we were flown to Baltimore and we were stuck. Hundreds of people were stuck in the Baltimore, Washington airport, 8 hours overnight. With everything closed, not even a McDonald's open for coffee, everything closed.
Wow.
People were sleeping on floors, sleeping in chairs. It was freezing because they had the air conditioner on high. They were making loud noises. Suddenly they're waxing the floors. Alarm. They're testing alarms.
Good times.
People were like, and then we saw a couple of mice running around.
Oh boy.
One woman said she thought it was a rat.
Wow.
And then when we got back, they lost the luggage.
Wow.
They eventually found it, and we had to drive all the way back to the airport, retrieve it, and they gave us a $200 voucher towards a future flight within the next year.
So what is that going to do? Oh, I was just going to
Well, I'm saying now I got to go on 4 of these sort of situations. And it's hard to find nonstop flights these days. You know, there's cancellations and all that stuff going on. So we are like
angry passengers. Be careful out there, man.
You know?
Well, I know you'll be out to the Coachella Valley soon.
Yes.
And I have a guest room in my house. You can stay here if you'd like. But I feel like we will break bread together.
Break bread and cross paths and energies. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Spread the word about our show. This was really terrific.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know if you had any expectation or anything, but we chatted for about 2.5 hours and it didn't seem like it. 2.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Now for us, it's 10:30 at night. And for you, it's what, 7:30?
Yeah.
So you can still have a light dinner.
Yeah. Wow. My goodness.
We're East Coast, so about 10:30.
Wow. I love it. What a joy.
Isn't it great? We just let it roll. It's different. What we do is different here. And, you know, maybe it's not for everybody, but hey, it's what it is. And a lot of people seem to be gravitating towards it and we appreciate it. You know, I know we're living in.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to especially send out to some colleagues like Paul Bushnell, the bass player I told you. He is such a delight. You guys talk about range. I would recommend him highly getting in touch with you. I don't know who his PR person is, but he would be a terrific interview. Greg Wells would be another terrific interview. He's so well read, so just an authentic human being. Val McCallum too. These people, I'm going to actually send some messages out and say, don't know if you're doing interviews or if
conversations.
Sorry, conversations. But they would be of good value. You know, like we've had a very valuable time, lots of valuable minutes. And these
Wasn't
folks,
just talk about the CD and then move on, right? Which is sort of assembly line.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was,
which is
let's
okay too.
celebrate the music, celebrate the CD. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about how it all came together. And then let's talk about all the things around it. Who is Shelley Rae? What inspires her? You know, what's her background? What does she think about life? And then, like I say, now that when they hear the music, or when they even hear your music on films, TV shows, and everything else that you've done, they're going to get a different perspective when you know the creator, the author,
Right.
the painter. It's going to be, it's not going to seem detached. It's going to be full circle, full form.
Yeah.
And that's
Thanks
what
for
we
that.
sort of get to here. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Carolyn Olney, Sky Blue drummer, for helping me with social media.
Oh,
Just
that's fantastic.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, she's just really good at it. And Nitsi,
That's
thanks so
great.
much
We
for
thank her too.
yeah. And I know
Yeah.
there's others listening.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. We
and just
posted on
thanks for all
Facebook,
the
Instagram, and
support.
Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I
Takes a
love it.
village.
Takes a village. It really does. And this village is pretty dang nice, you know.
Lovety Hall.
Lots of, yeah, Lovety Hall. I love
That's
it.
it.
It's a good place.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. We will keep that porch light on.
Okay.
Also known as, so Sky Blue drummer is also known as the songwriter with the cute dog.
Yes. And just a quick blurb on her dog. She also rescues animals,
Oh, that's
and
great.
she got a black lab that had basically, he was being trained to be a rescue dog, and he just couldn't make it because he'd do what he's supposed to do, but if he saw like a little rodent running, he'd run.
That
So
would be,
he
yeah.
sort of flunked out. And he is absolutely a charmer, and just, she loves him and he loves her, and they come out to visit, and it's just absolute joy. It's just really fun. It's really great, because I have a little puppy who's my best friend, and he's a little bit smaller than her doggy Dave, but they get along really well. The little one bosses him around a little bit, bully kind of thing going on. I'm
Why does it always
small.
work out that the little ones tend to do that, right?
I don't know.
Sometimes in life it works that way too.
I know. Well, he grew up with a big dog. We had a German Shepherd, and so he does think he's big. He does think he's a large dog, and he knows all the commands that the Shepherd knew, and he acts like a big dog. He just wants to make sure that everybody knows he's big. So it's really
He's the
crazy.
big cheese, the big one on the
Yeah.
block.
That's right.
Well, this was fantastic again. Really, really wonderful. And Sky Blue Drummer says, "My pleasure, my friend, and
Oh,
nice to
thank you.
meet you, Jim. Nice to meet you as well, and everybody who's our regulars watching live, our faithful lovedies, anybody new, and anybody who watches this tomorrow, next week, 6 months from now. We welcome you watching in the archives as well." Thanks so much for joining us, Shelley. This was really fantastic. Appreciate all the time. You're being so open and real and authentic and expressive and passionate and funny, playing music for us, laughing at my humor, and interacting in the way that you have. It's a beautiful experience, and we hope to do it again soon.
Thank you, my dear. Really, really. And thank you for all the people that have commented and
Lovedies, yeah.
Yeah, the Lovities. I love it. I love the Lovities.
Whenever you need a little lovety, just stop by JMS. Maureen says, sending tight lovety hugs to everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Oh, thank you, Maureen.
Tight lovety hugs. Good stuff.
All right.
Well, you be well. Are you going to have dinner now?
Probably not. I try not to eat past 7 or 8. Just because, I don't know, I'm old or something. I don't know. Really. I've always been this way since I was this little. I just, I don't know. Just not really. It's not great to eat before you go to bed anyway. So I don't. I'll probably have a glass of wine though.
That's yeah. You've earned your cup runneth over. Sometimes for me, if I am a little hungry when I'm going to bed, I won't go with a whole thing, but I will every once in a while go into the kitchen and open up a jar of the peanut butter and take one scoop out. And the peanut butter coats, satisfies, fills,
Ah,
does the trick.
huh.
Did you write that on your shopping list?
No,
Did you?
I have a dog that's kind of noodling me here on, I think he wants some supper.
Thanks
So
to the warm welcome from the Gym Masters community, Sky Blue Drummer. It is our pleasure. Welcome to the show, everybody here, and we hope to see you guys again. You be well, my friend. You take care.
Yeah,
And
and
spread the
I'll
word about
make
the
sure.
show. And
I'm going to spread the word without a doubt. It's going to benefit whoever
humanity.
you converse with next. Well,
Appreciate that.
it's like having a nice feeling full after a good healthy meal.
Isn't that what a great way to put that? Wow.
It's true.
It's like feeling full after a good healthy meal.
Yeah.
We love that. All right.
You
Good
take
stuff.
care, my friend.
You too, Shelley. Thanks for everything, and continued blessings and joys for you. And we'll be chatting again soon, okay?
I can't wait.
You take care now.
All right. You too.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Shelley Rae Speck here on the Gym Masters Show. Wasn't she a delight? Wasn't she amazing? Wasn't she awesome? And we're glad you guys could stop by Lovely Hall here to check it all out. She's really fantastic, an award-winning singer-songwriter. We're excited about the new EP, of course, and we celebrate that. Again, you can find it on all the platforms. The Bottle's on My Side. You know what's cool about it? She really told an in-depth story about the song. You can almost envision that bottle, right? And that whole story that she shared about it. Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, iTunes, all the places you can get it, purchase it, download it, and enjoy. And again, kind of cool, some of the other stories of people that she's had an opportunity to open for and what have you. Some of the folks that she's worked with, some of the TV shows and films and lots of different things that her music has been a part of. And that was just really the short list. We were just, and there's the album again, or the EP. We were just really scratching the surface there just a little bit, but check it all out. Again, she really was fantastic, and she was real and authentic. And yeah, look at all the different guitars, huh? She absolutely loves what she does. And she hugs the guitar like it's a newborn baby. Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing to see. So glad to have her here. You can see the whole episode again in its entirety right here on our YouTube channel. We archive all the episodes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and give it a like. You'll see a thumbs up sign, a little thumbs up on this episode and all of the over 750 episodes we've done. Give it a thumbs up and also leave a comment. Take a moment to leave a comment on the YouTube channel. You know what happens when you drop a comment underneath the episode on the actual channel? We appreciate that and we love it. And it means a lot to me and us, but also YouTube loves it. They take the episode and they blast it out to even more people. Yes, their algorithms work that way, where if you do thumbs up and you leave a comment, boom, we reach an international audience, but then they open up that box and push it out even further. So it really is helpful when you give it a thumbs up, you subscribe to our channel, and when you leave a comment, it really helps what we're doing here happen. So a lot of people say, what can we do to help support? And a lot of different things. You can do the super thanks, heart icon. There's a lot of different things you can do. Hey, I want to let you know as well that coming up tomorrow, we've got another wonderful artist coming to us from Nashville, Amanda Page Cornett, singer, songwriter, and actress. She's going to be with us tomorrow, and we're really, really looking forward to that. Gang, if you didn't see the episode when Loretta Swit, acclaimed actress, she starred in MASH, of course, and much more, artist, author, beautiful watercolor artist, animal welfare activist extraordinaire. We had an epic conversation. You can see that on our YouTube channel as well. So Amanda is with us tomorrow, and John Larroquia is going to be with us coming up on Friday, headlining stand-up comic, the nation's funniest fireman. And he has this organization called Laughter Saves Lives, the foundation and comedy tour. John is hilarious. He's going to be with us on Friday. Coming up soon, too, we have Jeff Hanar, the renowned multi-award winning New York cabaret concert and recording artist. He's had PBS specials and so much more. He's coming up soon here for you on the Jim Masters Show. So a lot of cool stuff. And take a look at some of the other episodes we've done with the Pointer Sisters and so many people. Love Ms. Swit. Hope you enjoyed that episode, Pam, as well. And you can see it on the YouTube channel. Maureen says, Shelley is amazing. This has been such a wonderful conversation. See you again tomorrow, Jim. And dear Lovities, Lovity family, I love you all. And we're happy that you have air conditioning again there in Arizona, Maureen. That's a gift. That is a gift. You're welcome, and welcome to the Lovity Squad. And thanks, Jim. Great show. Have a great night. You as well, and everybody that's been watching. Around here, gang, as we always say, we don't say goodbye. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, slancha, hasta la vista. We say sayonara, shalom. We say take care, be well, moi loop, which we know in African means walk well. And take care of one another, be good to one another, and love one another. And it's not Pollyanna. It just works out better that way. And don't forget to take time for yourself. Maureen says it's a chilly 84 degrees in her house now. She's a happy, lovity girl. I threw the lovity in there. And take care and take time for yourself, okay? We'll be back with the next episode designed just for you, for your entertainment and inspiration, levity, and all the other cool stuff we can throw at you. And continue to spread the word. The good word. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just hit that red button. Doesn't cost anything when you subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes, because we'll send out notifications to you, little alerts. Hey, this episode's coming up with this guest and things of that nature. So with that said, thanks for being with us. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. If you're watching this live, we'll see you on the next episode. If you are watching this Memorex, you're watching it in the archives later on, stay right here. There's another episode available for you here on our YouTube channel of the Jim Masters Show. Take care and be well. Thanks for being with us. Cheers.